Tonight, we're exploring why every Pokémon game is secretly still about Kanto. This will be a fascinating but calm deep dive to help you drift off. Thank you to those of you who've been joining us consistently. If you're falling asleep with us tonight, let me know in the comments how many nights in a row you've been here. And if this is your first night, just comment day 1. Now, let's get back to the video. Close your eyes and imagine a small quiet town tucked away in a corner of the world where the grass is a vibrant neon green and the air smells like the salt of a nearby sea. You are standing in the center of a dirt path, looking at a modest wooden house on your left and a research lab on your right. There is no grand orchestra playing, only the rhythmic chirp of invisible insects and the soft crunch of your shoes on the gravel. Oi, this is Pallet Town. For millions of us, this wasn't just a starting location in a video game. It was the beginning of a lifelong obsession. It was 1996 in Japan and 1998 for the rest of the world when we first stepped into the shoes of a silent protagonist named Red. We didn't know then that this small patch of digital land, modelled after the real-world Kanto region of Japan, would become the gravitational centre of a multi-billion-dollar universe. We thought we were just catching monsters. We thought we were just trying to beat our rival. But as the decades have rolled by, and the world of Pokémon has expanded into vast new continents, soaring skyward into the clouds of Unova and diving into the crystalline depths of Paldea, a strange realization begins to set in. No matter how far we travel, no matter how many hundreds of new species we discover, we never truly leave Kanto behind. There is a persistent whisper in the lore of this franchise, a ghost in the machine that suggests every single Pokémon game is, at its heart, still about Kanto. It is the foundational stone upon which everything else is built, and its shadow is longer and darker than most players realize. When you look at the map of the Pokémon world, you see a sprawling archipelago of diverse cultures and climates. Yet they all seem to bow toward that central eastern point of the Japanese-inspired mainland. Why is it that every time a new professor hands you a Pokédex, they are using a system perfected by Samuel Oak? Why is it that the most terrifying legendary encounters in distant lands always seem to have a footnote or a research paper tracing back to a burned-out mansion on Cinnabar Island? The stakes of this journey are far higher than simple nostalgia. To understand Kanto is to understand the DNA of the entire series. It is the region that established the laws of physics, the hierarchy of power, and the very concept of what it means to be a Pokémon master. If Kanto is the heart, then the other regions are merely the limbs, moving in rhythm with a pulse that started over 25 years ago. Think about the sheer weight of Kanto's presence across the timeline. It is the only region that has been fully explorable in 5 different generations of hardware. It is the only region that shares its elite league with a neighbour, effectively colonising the competitive spirit of Johto. When we talk about the history of this world, we aren't just talking about ancient myths of space and time creators. We are talking about the industrial, gritty, and often cold reality of Kanto's scientific advancements. This is the place where humanity first tried to play God, successfully cloning the most powerful creature known to man from a single strand of ancient hair. This is the place where an organised crime syndicate didn't want to save the world or remake the universe, but simply wanted to dominate it through cold, hard cash and the exploitation of living beings. There is a raw, grounded energy to Kanto that has never been replicated, a sense that the world is a little bit dangerous, a little bit mysterious, and deeply connected to the earth. But the mystery goes deeper than just the games we've played. There is a hidden narrative thread that suggests Kanto's influence isn't just historical. It's ongoing and perhaps even a bit sinister. Why does the silent figure of Red haunt the highest peak of Mount Silver, years after his journey ended? Why do the regional variants of Alola and Galar almost exclusively focus on the original 151? There is a theory whispered in the dark corners of the fandom that Kanto didn't just start the Pokémon journey, it conquered it. It suggests that the Indigo League is more than a tournament. It is a political and cultural powerhouse that has shaped the development of every other region we've visited. From the way gyms are structured to the way the economy of Pokeballs and potions functions, the Kanto blueprint is inescapable. We are told we are exploring new frontiers, but every time we look at our map, we are seeing the world through a lens ground and polished in the labs of Saffron and Viridian. Tonight, we are going to peel back the layers of this digital palimpsest. We are going to look past the bright colours of the modern era and find the original ink beneath. We will journey through the silent forests where Celebi might hide, only to find that the path leads back to the shadows of the Viridian woods. We will analyse the architectural similarities between the sprawling metropolises of the world and the industrial hub of Saffron City. We will ask ourselves why, after 9 generations of growth, the most iconic moments in the series still involve a lonely boy from Pallet Town. Is Kanto a beautiful memory? Or is it an anchor that the series can never truly cut? Is every new game a sequel? Or is it just another chapter in a story that Kanto finished writing decades ago? As the sun sets over the digital horizon and the music fades into a low ambient hum, prepare yourself for a deep dive into the lore that defines our childhoods and continues to shape our present. We're going back to where it all began, not just to reminisce, but to uncover the secrets that have been hidden in plain sight. We are looking for the truth behind the Mewtwo project, the reality of the Great Pokémon War, and the reason why every legendary bird seems to have a nest in the Kanto skies. This is a journey through time, through memory, and through the very fabric of the Pokémon universe. It is time to realise that no matter how many badges we collect, or how many champions we defeat, we are all still just kids wandering through the tall grass outside of Pallet Town, waiting for a professor to tell us that it's dangerous to go alone. The wind is picking up, and the tall grass is rustling. The sea foam is crashing against the rocks of Route 21, and the lights of the Indigo Plateau are flickering in the distance like cold, distant stars. The world is much larger than we once thought, yet it feels smaller the more we learn. Every secret, every hidden item, and every legendary encounter is a piece of a puzzle that was first spilled out on a table in 1996. So settle in. Let the familiar sounds of the healing machine and the soft glow of the PC terminal wash over you. We have a long night ahead of us, and a lot of ground to cover. We are going home, but we are seeing it for the first time. This is the hidden history of the world. This is why every Pokémon game is secretly still about Kanto. You wake up in a quiet house on the edge of nowhere. Your name barely a whisper. Your past a complete void. This is Pallet Town, 1996. The moment Pokémon doesn't just begin, it brands itself into your brain forever. That blank slate you step into, as red isn't an accident. It's a psychological masterstroke, a void so pure it swallows every player whole, making you the hero before you've caught a single Pokémon. Think about it. You're handed no dialogue, no hometown drama, no family secrets. You're emptiness incarnate, a canvas for every kid's wildest dreams of adventure. Satoshi Tajiri and his team at Game Freak knew exactly what they were doing. In an era when games like Final Fantasy burdened you with intricate backstories, Pokémon stripped it all away. You become the projection, the everyman thrust into Kanto's sprawling world. That weight hits different, is liberating, sure, but haunting too. Every choice you make, from picking Charmander over Bulbasaur, echoes louder because there's nothing else defining you. No wonder millions felt personally seen or lost in that first step out the door. 1996 wasn't just a launch year, it was a cultural detonation. Japan was buzzing with pocket monsters, invading Game Boys, trading cards flooding schools, an anime that hooked kids before they even booted up Red or Green. Pallet Town rode that wave, becoming the universal gateway. While other RPGs hid their starts in bustling hubs or war-torn kingdoms, Pallet whispered simplicity. A grassy path, a sleepy professor's lab, your overeager rival banging on the door. It stuck because it felt real, like leaving your own cul-de-sac for the unknown. Even today, search any Pokémon forum, and Pallet tops the nostalgia charts. More memes, more fan art, more first playthrough stories than Paldea or Hisui combined. Why does it endure as gaming's most iconic starting line? Walk with me through those opening minutes. Your mum waves goodbye, the screen fades to that world map dotted with Kanto's secrets. Route 1 unfolds, Pidgey rustling in tall grass, the thrill of your first wild encounter. No tutorials nagging you, just pure discovery. Pallet Town's paradox lies here. It's forgettably ordinary on the surface, but yet it cements eternity. Every subsequent region tries to replicate it. Littleroot's cozy vibe, Nuvema's pastoral calm, but none match that primal pull. Post-game data backs it. Speedruns clock Pallet exits in seconds. Yet casual players linger for hours, soaking in the weight of what's coming. It's the spark that ignited a franchise worth billions, revisited in 14 games across 5 generations. From Fire Red's faithful remake to Scarlet and Violet's epilogue nod. And at the heart of it all stands Professor Oak, the archetype that casts a shadow no other mentor escapes. Picture him. White lab coat crisp against Pallet Town's green hills, that grandfatherly voice crackling over the poker gear, eyes twinkling with encyclopedic wisdom. He's not just handing out starters, he's birthing the Pokédex itself, the digital archive that defines every trainer's quest. Oak's genius predates you. He's the guy who studied Mew in Guyana's jungles, collaborated with Mr. Fuji on experiments that birthed Mewtwo's rage in the Cinnabar mansion. His lab hums with fossils, Eevee evolutions, the original 151 entries that seeded the world. Every professor since is a faint echo, a shadow puppet of the original. Elm in Johto, frazzled, egg-obsessed, lacking Oak's gravitas. Birch in Hoenn, shirtless and frantic, more survivalist than sage. Rowan up in Sinnoh pores over Oak's notes like a disciple, admitting the Pokédex blueprint came straight from Pallet. Sycamore in Kalos name drops Kanto legendaries. Kukoi in Alola builds on Oak's mechanical dreams with his own island twists. Even recent ones like Magnolia in Galar or Sada in Paldea orbit the same formula. Starter gifts, Pokédex upgrades, a lab as quest hub, but they dim next to Oak's unyielding presence. He's the constant, phoning in from Pallet across dimensions, his voice a tether pulling every story back to Kanto. That blank slate paradox amplifies it all. You leave Oak's lab as red, silent and undefined, but carrying his legacy in your pocket. Rival Blue, your mirror, cocky and named after the seas, pushes you forward, but it's Oak's question that lingers. Are you a boy or a girl? The first choice, loaded with identity. From there, Kanto unfolds its colour-coded tapestry, Viridian's emerald gems, Cerulean's azure waves, but those hues mask deeper tensions, brewing conflicts that ripple through every badge quest and evil team scheme. Pallet Town's grip never loosens because it's the origin of it all. The Pokédex that Rowan envies, the Indigo League template Johto shares uneasily, the Mewtwo shadow haunting clone arcs from Kalos onward. Red himself returns on Mount Silver, the silent pinnacle, proving Kanto's unbeatable core. You feel it in every new game, the starter pick mirroring Bulbasaur's gamble, the gym crawl echoing Brock's boulder badge, Team Rocket's greed reborn in Unova's shadows. Pallet isn't a footnote, it's the unspoken heart, that 1996 spark, ensuring no Pokémon journey strays far from home. But peel back those serene grassy paths and you'll uncover the colour of conflict simmering beneath. Rivalries that turn bloody. Cities named for shades hiding ancient grudges. That's the fire we'll ignite next in Chapter 2. The colour of conflict. From the quiet fields of Pallet Town, where you first grasp that starter Pokémon and feel the weight of an empty Pokédex, your path leads straight to Viridian City. That name alone, Viridian, evokes lush greens, the deep emerald hues of ancient forests wrapping around a sleepy gym shrouded in mystery. But step inside, and Giovanni's shadow lingers, his desk empty, yet heavy, with unspoken schemes. This isn't just a starting point. It's the first stroke in a deliberate palette that Game Freak painted across Kanto's map. Think about how every city pulses with colour in its name. Viridian for verdant green, Pewter's muted greys of forged metal, Cerulean's brilliant blues mirroring the waves crashing nearby, Lavender's pale purple haze over ghostly towers, even Saffron's golden saffron threads weaving through towering skyscrapers. This wasn't random poetry from developers crunching code in 1996. It was intentional design, a universal visual language baked into the game's DNA. Colours shortcut straight to your brain's filing system. Green screams renewal and hidden dangers in the underbrush. Grey whispers of unyielding stone, and first battles that test your nerve. You don't need a map legend. The names themselves sketch the terrain, the mood, the peril ahead. It's why, even decades later, you can close your eyes and see Cerulean Cave's sapphire depths swallowing light, or Lavender Town's violet fog muffling cries from the tower. That chromatic code extends beyond Kanto, seeping into every region that followed. Hoenn's rust-red Rustburrow echoes Pewter's grit. Sinnoh's Eterna Forest nods to Viridian's wild heart. Game Freak crafted this so players worldwide, regardless of language barriers, grasp the emotional geography instantly. A child in Tokyo, one in New York, another in Sao Paulo, they all feel the shift from Viridian's organic greens to the cold slate of Pewter without a single tutorial pop-up. It's a silent tutorial in world building, turning abstract pixels into a living, breathing canvas that hooks you deeper than any exposition dump ever could. Now trace that first leg of your journey, leaving Pallet, skirting Route 1's gentle grass, arriving in Viridian. The gym doors stand shut. Giovanni's not ready for you yet. You're turned away, forced westward to Pewter City. That transition from Viridian's verdant embrace to Pewter's industrial pallor, it's no accident. It's the hero's journey, distilled into two towns. A template Joseph Campbell would nod at, but Satoshi Tajiri etched into every RPG that bows to Pokémon's shadow. Viridian is your ordinary world, the call to adventure ringing faint from Oak's lab. Rejection at the gym? That's the refusal of the call, pushing you over the threshold into Pewter's rocky jaws. Pewter hits like forged steel underfoot. Brock's gym looms, his onyx coiling like the veins of a mountain mine. You battle through caves, chisel fossils from stone. Mount Moon's darkness presses in, Zubats shrieking from crags laced with moonstones. This grey domain tests you. Your first badge gleams not from nature's gift, but from conquering the Earth's unyielding core. Its mentor meets trial, Brock's stoic lessons in rock-hard resolve. From there, the pattern locks in. Colours escalate conflict, each hue a rung on the ladder to Indigo Plateau. Cerulean drowns you in water's fury, misty Starmie spinning like a sapphire cyclone. Vermilion's oranges crackle with electric surges from Lieutenant Surge's Raichu. Buried cables humming beneath the docks. This colour-coded ascent mirrors the monomyth that underpins every Pokémon game, every Final Fantasy trek, every Zelda quest. Start in Green Idol, crash into Grey Forge of self-doubt, climb through clashing spectra toward a league bathed in indigo triumph. Later regions ape it, Unova's Nimbasa's neon pinks pulsing like Saffron's psychics, Galar's hammerlock greys grinding like Pewter's boulders. Kanto didn't invent the wheel, it chromatically engineered the hero's journey into gaming's default blueprint, so seamless you never notice the rails guiding you. But peel back that vibrant veneer, and Kanto reveals a hidden industrialism that sets it starkly apart, making it feel more modern than the pastoral dreams of Johto or Hoenn. While Johto romanticizes rice paddies and shrines, Kanto throbs with factories disguised as power plants, monorails slicing Saffron's skyline, Sylph companies' gleaming towers churning out tech that birthed Porygon. Saffron isn't some quaint burg, it's Tokyo's pulse in pixel form. Copycat department stores, hawking wares amid Team Rocket's heists. Vermilion's ports bustle with SS-An luxury liners, ferrying elites while underground paths snake with flickering lights and electrode traps. This undercurrent stems from Kanto's real-world muse, Japan's Kanto Plain, the beating heart east of the Hakone barrier, where Tokyo's sprawl engulfs ancient farms. In-game, Viridian Forest hides bug nets and secret houses, but Pewter's museum hoards fossils like an archaeocorp, and Cinnabar's mansion smoulders with failed experiments. Mewtwo's cradle, DNA, spliced in basements reeking of chemicals. Seafoam Islands? Not pristine atolls, but cavernous reactors pulsing with Articuno's chill, Zapdos sparking amid corroded turbines. Even the cycling road overlooks factories belching virtual smoke. Later regions soften this. Alola's islands float on tourism, Paldea's academies gleam academic, but Kanto grinds gears beneath its gloss. Team Rocket profiting off stolen Pokémon, like a syndicate in a cyberpunk sprawl. Why does this make Kanto eternally modern? Its cities blend rural fringes with urban assault, Fuchsia's Safari Zone cages beasts for sport, while Celadon prizes perfumes over potions. Indigo Plateau? A Colosseum fortress straddling Kanto Johto, funded by Kanto's coffers, Tyranitar silhouettes on Mount Silver, hinting at border skirmishes, fans theorize as outright annexation. Johto's Goldenrod? Kanto-built monorail hub, a developing satellite drawing power from the shared league. Kanto doesn't hide its machine, it cloaks it in colour, letting you chase legendaries while the world hums with invention. That industrial shadow births Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave's abyss, birds patrolling power grids like corporate guardians. Every clone saga since, Kalos Eternatus echoes, Mewtwo's rage rippling through timelines, traces back here. Red himself, silent on Mount Silver's peak, embodies Kanto's unyielding core, the blank slate forged into champion, his Pikachu crackling like a generator. As we push deeper into Kanto's circuits, the static grows louder, whispering of a ghost in the machine that powers it all. What spectral force lurks in those flickering screens and haunted towers, binding every Pokémon tale back to this origin? As those early colours fade from the vibrant greens of Viridian Forest into the stark greys of Pewter's rocky gym, your journey presses onward, the palette shifting to something far more haunting. Lavender, a soft purple haze that cloaks the next town in an unnatural stillness. Lavender Town emerges not just as a stop on the map, but as the shadowed heart where Pokémon first dared to touch the macabre, birthing a strain of horror that would seep into every corner of the franchise. You arrive there after the bustle of Celadon, the air growing thick with an eerie quiet. No vibrant markets or cheering crowds, just crooked gravestones dotting the landscape, crooked towers piercing a perpetually overcast sky. The Pokémon Tower looms at its centre, a 7-story spire of forgotten souls, where wild ghastly drift like spectral fog, their gaseous forms swirling around you, giggling in that distorted chiptune echo. This wasn't accidental design. Lavender Town was crafted in 1996 by Game Freak's team, squeezed onto the Game Boy's monochrome screen to introduce death into a world of endless battles and captures. For the first time, Pokémon weren't just partners, they were ghosts, remnants of trainers lost to tragedy, forcing you to confront loss in a game aimed at children. Climb those creaking floors and the horror intensifies. Ghosts block your path, invisible until you earn the Sylph Scope from the rocket hideout in Celadon. Without it, you're swinging blindly at empty air, your attacks whiffing into nothingness, my heart pounding as the screen flickers with unseen presences. Then on the 5th floor, the ghost of a Marowak materializes, not a wild Pokémon to catch, but a mother's vengeful spirit, slain by poachers, forever mourning her stolen Cubone child. You battle it, but victory feels hollow. It vanishes without a Pokeball claim, a deliberate choice by Satoshi Tajiri to etch permanence into absence. This moment redefined death in kids' media. No resurrection, no easy capture, just raw, unyielding grief echoing through the tower's dim corridors. That piercing music seals it all. The Lavender Town Syndrome melody, a 4-note dirge warped by the Game Boy's primitive sound chip. 4 tones looping in dissonant minor keys. Beep, boop, beep, beep, a frequency that players swore caused headaches, nightmares, even suicides among Japanese kids in the late 90s. Urban legends exploded. Reports of 80-year-olds collapsing, children weeping uncontrollably. Game Freak denied it, tweaking the track for international releases, but the damage was done. It became the origin of Pokémon horror, influencing everything from the distortion world in Sinnoh to the ultraspace voids in Alola, where loss and the uncanny linger, like Lavender's fog. Even today, fan remakes amplify that tune, proving Kanto's spectral tone never truly fades. But Lavender's ghosts were just the start. The true hauntings stemmed from the machine itself. The Game Boy, Nintendo's handheld marvel of 1989, was a technological tightrope. 4 kilobytes of RAM, a single-color LCD flickering at 60 Hz. Cartridges prone to glitches from magnetized data or save file overflows. Enter missing number, the glitch. Pokémon born from these limits, a bird-like abomination with a garbled sprite. Number 251 in a Pokédex, capped at 151. Fly to the coast south of Cinnabar, hold select to bike clip through an invisible wall, encounter a trainer whose Pokémon count exceeds 90, and boom, the game's memory corrupts, spawning missing number M, duplicating your 6th item endlessly. Players discovered it weeks after Red and Blue's Japanese launch, nicknames like Missing Number spreading via playground whispers and early internet forums. It wasn't just a bug, it was a digital phantom promising infinite Master Balls or rare candies, but at a cost. Your Hall of Fame data erased, save files bloated into instability. A theory swirled, a developer Easter egg for Mew, or the skeletal remains of cut content, like the fabled 151st Pokémon. Game Freak called it an exploit, but it fueled Kanto's mythos, echoing in later glitches like Deoxys in Emerald or the Celebi event triggers. Every Pokémon game's underbelly, those hex edits, error Pokémon, traces back to the Game Boy's frailty, making Kanto the ghost in the franchise's machine. The tower's innovation cut deeper still. In a series built on collection and conquest, Lavender forced you to redefine Pokémon as mortal. Mr. Fuji's diary at the top reveals the tower as a memorial for war casualties and orphaned Pokémon, tying into Kanto's prehistory of human Pokémon strife. You deliver the Marowak Poké Flute to the motherless Cubone line, but the ghost persists, a cycle unbroken. And this planted seeds for death's permanence. Unown ruins in Johto, Spiritom's 99 souls, even Eternatus's near apocalypse in Galar. Children's games before Pokémon shied from graves. Kanto embraced them, using the tower to humanize beasts, making every fainted Pokémon feel like a sliver of that purple-tinged sorrow. These elements fused technical quirks with tonal dread, cementing Kanto as the franchise's haunted foundation. The Game Boy's constraints birthed legends that outlived the hardware, while Lavender's shadows ensured horror became Pokémon's secret undercurrent. Subtle in Paldea, overt in Hisui. You can't escape it, boot up Scarlet or Violet, and those echoes whisper through every cave, every abandoned tower. The Indigo League awaits beyond, but the ghosts you've stirred follow you still. And as we ascend toward revelations even darker, where one cloned legend's rage threatens to unravel it all, prepare for Chapter 4, the Mewtwo Manifesto. What drives a Pokémon engineered in Kanto's hidden labs to question its very existence? And how does that fury bind every game back to this origin? Drift deeper with me, but as those eerie whispers of Lavender Town fade into the static glitches of Missing No, the true shadows of Kanto creep eastward, to the smouldering ruins of Cinnabar Island, where the franchise's first taste of unrelenting darkness was etched into yellowed journal pages, hidden amid charred timbers and flickering torchlight. You arrive there, late in your journey, through red or blue, after 8 badges weigh heavy in your pocket. The island's gym, a hollowed-out shell overseen by Blaine, at that puzzle-obsessed firemaster. But beneath the surface, past crumbling walls and locked doors, lies the Pokémon Mansion. Not a home, but a graveyard of ambition. Push through the debris, and you'll find them. Scattered diaries, scrawled by desperate hands, chronicling the birth of something that shattered the innocence of this world forever. The first journal grips you immediately. Mew was discovered in Guyana's rainforests, it reads. The ink faded, but the words burning clear. A fossil of pure potential. The ancestor of all Pokémon. Its DNA, a genetic jackpot. Kanto's scientists, led by a shadowy figure known only as the Director, couldn't resist. They lured it to the lab with promises of study, but hubris whispered louder. Why observe when you can replicate? They extracted its essence, splicing it into a blank canvas. And engineering the ultimate evolution, Mewtwo, flip to the next entry and the tone shifts. Feverish notes detail the gestation in glowing tanks, the embryo pulsing with unnatural vigour. Subject shows exponential growth, one page confesses. Power levels off the charts, far beyond Mew's playful whims. But cracks appear early. The clone stirs with rage, its mind awakening too soon. Telepathic screams echoing through sterile halls. The scientists panic, injecting sedatives, rewriting protocols. Yet each entry spirals deeper into denial. It will be our greatest achievement, they insist, even as containment fails. By the third journal, catastrophe unfolds. Mewtwo shatters its bonds, psychic fury leveling the mansion in a blaze that still scars the walls you navigate today. The Director's final words are a plea. God has forsaken us, Mr. Her Fuji, the gentle soul behind the Pokémon Tower's Marowak haunt, funded it all in secret grief, hoping to resurrect his lost daughter through cloning's miracle. Instead, he unleashed a god scorned, one that vanishes into Cerulean Cave's depths, waiting post-game for your challenge. A level 70 behemoth, purple hide gleaming, eyes hollow with betrayal. This isn't mere backstory. It's Kanto's manifesto against playing God, the franchise's inaugural plunge into moral abyss. Cloning here isn't a sterile sci-fi trope. It's visceral, personal. Those journals force you to linger in the ashes, piecing together the ethical rot at Pokémon's heart. What right do humans have to rewrite life's code? Mewtwo embodies the fallout. A child born of arrogance, rejecting its creators with apocalyptic wrath. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, the remakes amplify it, with audio logs hissing through headphones, the crackle of fire underscoring each confession. Consider the hubris of Kanto's scientific elite. Professor Oak catalogues species from Pallet Town's humble lab, yet on Cinnabar, his peers chase divinity. They model the island after Japan's volcanic Aizu Peninsula, a cauldron of creation and destruction. Gym badge earned amid lava flows that mirror the lab's meltdown. This community, tied to Sylph Company's corporate gleam in saffron, the power plant's electric hum, views Pokémon as raw material. Mewtwo exposes the lie. Its escape ripples outward. Cerulean Cave sealed until you're champion. A reminder that some forces demand mastery first. No other legendary matches this depth. Articuno's icy solitude in Seafoam's gales. Poetic but distant. Zapdos crackling in the abandoned power plant. A thrilling raw power. But Mewtwo? It rages with motivation born of trauma. In the games, it's silent fury. in the broader lore, a manifesto of vengeance. The first movie crystallizes it, Mewtwo's cloned army drowning clones in tidal waves, declaring humans and Pokémon alike are slaves to their origins. Even Kalos' Zygarde echoes this, its ecosystem guardians paling against Mewtwo's existential scream. Unova's Genesect revives the fossil clone debate, but Kanto birthed the template. Paldea's Miraidon time travels through tech gone awry, yet none probe the soul like those Cinnabar pages. Why does Mewtwo endure as the gold standard? Because its story humanizes the inhuman. You're not just battling a stat sheet, you're confronting Kanto's original sin. Return in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and the cave encounter throbs with orchestral swells, Mewtwo's silhouette against starry skies, a nod to its anime genesis. Scarlet and Violet's epilogue loops back, Kanto's pull undeniable. Every clone arc, Ditto's shape-shifting mysteries. Type, Null's armoured anguish, traces to this manifesto. It's the ethical scalpel dissecting franchise hubris, proving Kanto's lore isn't quaint nostalgia, it's the shadowed foundation every region builds upon, trembling. And lurking in those same Cinnabar shadows, amid the journal's warnings of unchecked science, stirs the true puppet masters of Kanto's underbelly. The Rocket Syndicate, their red R emblem, a promise of schemes far deadlier than any lab explosion. What twisted empire did they forge from these very ruins? But while those Cinnabar scientists played God with forbidden DNA, grafting Mew's essence into a vessel of rage and escape, a far more insidious force was already burrowing into Kanto's underbelly, one that didn't need laboratories or ancient legends to wield power. It was raw, unadorned ambition, dressed in the crisp black uniforms of the Rocket Syndicate. Giovanni didn't announce his empire with thunderous speeches or apocalyptic visions. He built it brick by shadowed brick, right under the noses of every trainer chasing badges across the region. By day, he stood in Viridian Gym as its formidable leader, his Persian at his side like a silent enforcer, testing challengers with earth-shaking Raiden and the cold precision of Nidoqueen. You remember that moment, don't you? Cresting the final hill toward Viridian City after weeks of grinding through roots and caves, and only to face him, not as some distant overlord, but as the 8th badge guardian, his voice calm, authoritative, promising a trial worthy of the League. He handed you that Earth badge with a nod, as if the weight of his hidden world meant nothing. Yet beneath that gym's polished floors, tunnels snaked like veins, pulsing with grunts barking orders, stolen Pokémon whimpering in cages, and crates overflowing with black market Pokeballs. Team Rocket wasn't born from some noble crusade or doomsday prophecy. It was a syndicate forged for profit, pure glittering greed. They raided Sylph Company in Saffron, not to unleash chaos, but to hijack the Master Ball production line, turning elite capture tech into their monopoly. They flooded Mount Moon with goons, scooping up rare fossils, and Clefairy for underground auctions. Even the Pokémon Tower in Lavender became their twisted warehouse, souls of the departed twisted into ghastly fodder, while they experimented with resurrection tech to peddle immortal companions to the highest bidder. This duality in Giovanni, gym leader by sunlight, mafia don by midnight, marked one of the franchise's rawest narrative peaks, a tension the series has rarely dared revisit with such intimacy. Imagine the vertigo of it. You're the hero, badge in hand, striding out of his gym, feeling invincible, oblivious that the man who just validated your journey runs a criminal web spanning from Celadon to Cinnabar. No other antagonist wears that mask so convincingly. Later, bosses like Archie or Lysandra posture from fortified lairs, their motives draped in ideology. Giovanni? He shakes your hand, eyes gleaming with the same avarice he turns on his victims. And that's what makes Team Rocket so viscerally terrifying, their simplicity. No grand schemes to flood the world or rewrite reality, just cold commerce. They steal your Pokémon not out of hatred for trainers, but because rare ones fetch top yen on the black market. They bomb the power plant to corner the Zapdos trade, electrifying their smuggling routes. In a franchise that spirals into cosmic stakes, legendaries unraveling time, dimensions colliding, Rocket's grounded villainy hits harder. They're the mob you could bump into on Route 8 haggling over a stolen Pidgeot. Real-world echoes pulse through every raid. The grunts' cocky banter in Rocket hideout, their admin archers' suave threats. The way they scatter like roaches when you dismantle their operations, one elevator puzzle at a time. You dismantle them, yes, infiltrating that sprawling Viridian base after badges, blasting through coughing clouds and electrodes rigged as bombs, confronting Giovanni in his lair where he unleashes his full arsenal. Cloned birds, Nidoking Fury, that Persian with claws like switchblades. He flees, defeated but unbroken, vanishing into the shadows with a promise to return stronger. But even in defeat, his syndicate lingers, a reminder that evil doesn't always explode in spectacle. Sometimes it rebuilds in boardrooms, buying up gyms and labs, waiting for the next score. This shift from Kanto's organised crime to the ideological cults of later generations underscores how the series evolved, or perhaps diluted, its threats. Johto's remnants, and a fractured Rocket clinging to radio signals and mask heists, still chasing profit amid personal vendettas. But by Hoenn, Magma and Aqua cloak greed in environmental zealotry, preaching land versus sea salvation while secretly angling for power. Sinnoh's galactic dreams of new universes, Unova's plasma preaches liberation only to enslave. Kalos's flair chases beauty through genocide. Each builds on Rocket's blueprint, but swaps the Mafia Don's ledger for messianic fire. Why? Kanto set the template. Evil teams as regional cancers, disrupting the badge quest. Yet Rocket's lack of pretense makes them eternal, recurring in Unova's subway shadows, Alola's ether castoffs, even modern echoes in Paldea's schemes. Their greed mirrors our world too closely. No divine excuse is needed. Giovanni's shadow stretches further still. In gold and silver, 3 years after your Gen 1 triumph, he lurks in Johto's Undercurrents, pulling strings on slowpoke tails and radio towers, his syndicate adapting like a virus. Heart Gold and Soul Silver amplify it. His Viridian gym reopened post-redemption arc, a nod to uneasy truces. Let's Go recaptures the original raids with Pikachu Flare, Mewtwo's Psychic Fury, clashing against Rocket Labs anew. Even Scarlet and Violet's epilogue whispers back, Kanto's pull undeniable. Their terror lies in that relatability. The grunt who mutters about easy money before you OHKO his Rattata, the boss who tallies profits mid-battle. World enders like Eternatus or the Swords of Justice demand legendaries to counter. Rocket demands cunning, items, and persistence. You grind through their ranks not with plot armor, but trainer grit, reclaiming stolen mons one by one. It's personal, tactile, the kind of dread that seeps into sleepless nights, wondering if that shady vendor in Celadon Game Corner is peddling more than coins. As we peel back these layers of syndicate smoke, the true machinery of Kanto's dominance comes into sharper focus. The unyielding structure that binds regions, badges, and champions under one plateau's shadow. In Chapter 6, the Indigo Hegemony, we'll uncover how that league isn't just a finish line, but Kanto's iron grip on the entire Pokémon world, squeezing Johto and beyond into submission. You won't want to miss how it all connects. Giovanni's defeat in the Viridian Gym doesn't just dismantle Team Rocket's empire, it catapults you toward the pinnacle of Kanto's unyielding authority, the Indigo Plateau. This towering complex, how perched on the border where Kanto's rugged peaks bleed into Johto's rolling hills, isn't merely a tournament arena. It's the nerve center of a hegemony that binds two regions under one banner, dictating the rules of power across the Pokémon world. Picture the ascent. You've navigated Saffron's golden gates, crossed the throbbing pulse of the magnet train from Goldenrod, or trudge through the shadowed passes linking the two lands. The plateau looms like a fortress of white stone and cascading waterfalls, its conference chamber echoing with the decrees of champions past. Here, in Generation 2's Gold and Silver, the Indigo League stands as the unbreakable thread stitching Kanto to its western neighbour. Johto trainers grind through their 8 badges, only to funnel into this shared coliseum, where Kanto's Elite 4, Lorelei with her icy Zapdos countermeasures, Bruno's Raw Muscle, Agatha's Spectral Gengar Horde, and Lance's Dragon Sovereigns await as the final arbiters. It's no coincidence that victory here crowns you over both realms. The plateau enforces Kanto's blueprint on Johto's ambitions. This geopolitical stranglehold reveals itself in the infrastructure Kanto bankrolls. That sleek monorail slicing from Saffron to Goldenrod, a lifeline funded by Kanto's urban titans, pumping commerce and trainers eastward while keeping Johto tethered. Saffron City, with its throbbing Sylph Company towers and psychic elite, mirrors Tokyo's neon sprawl in the real Kanto plain, exporting technology and culture that Johto's quaint ecrutique shrines can only envy. Even the routes bristle with Kanto's markers, Viridian forests, bug swarms, spilling into Johto's outskirts, Pewter's rocky sentinels echoing Ilex Forest's depths. Economically, Kanto dominates. Its power plants hum with surplus electricity traded to Johto's underdeveloped grids, while Cerulean Cave hides Mewtwo's raw power, a secret weapon no neighbouring lab can replicate. Culturally, the imprint runs deeper, like roots cracking through Johto's soil. Goldenrod City, Johto's supposed modern hub, feels like Saffron's little sister. Department stores stocked with Kanto imports, radio towers broadcasting Oak's Pokédex updates. Fan theories whisper of outright annexation, a quiet war where Kanto's League enforcers co-opted Johto Post, some ancient border skirmish, planting Tyranitar at Mount Silver's peak as a glaring sentinel. Red himself, and that silent Pallet prodigy from the first games, exiles to Mount Silver's summit, overlooking Johto like a watchful emperor. Beat him, and you've proven yourself heir to Kanto's throne, his Pikachu's thunderclap echoing the hegemony's roar. But the true genius of this dominance lies in the League template itself, a formula so potent it calcifies into every region's DNA. The Indigo Plateau codifies the Elite Four quartet, a gauntlet of specialists, Ice, Fighting, Ghost, Dragon, each a microcosm of type mastery, culminating in the champion's versatile arsenal. No other structure rivals it. Head to Hoenn's Evergrande City, and there they are, Sydney's dark echoes of Agatha, Phoebe's ghosts, refined but derivative, Glacier's frost, homage to Lorelei, Drake's draconic nod to Lance, Stephen's steel throne. Sinnoh's Sinnoh League? Cynthia's Garchomp channels, Lance's might, her team, a mosaic of Indigo's trials. Unova, Kalos, Alola, each twists the model, but none escapes it. 4 unyielding pillars before the apex, badges prerequisite, the plateau's shadow lengthening across the map. This isn't accident, it's engineered supremacy. When Generation 2 opens Johto's gates, only to loop back through Kanto's badge circuit, revisiting Brock, Misty, all the way to Giovanni's redemption, it underscores the cycle. Johto's legends, Ho-Oh and Lugia, tower over the sea, yet trainers must conquer Indigo's veterans first. Heart Gold and Soul Silver amplify it. Post-game, Kanto Invasion reveals Giovanni's lingering shadow. Team Rocket's resurgence halted by Kanto's resilient gyms. Even in Scarlet and Violet's epilogue, the plateau beckons as the ultimate pilgrimage, a Kanto's lore hub pulling Paldea's stars into its orbit. Kanto's economic muscle flexes through these ties. Viridian's corporate sprawl seeding Goldenrod's markets. Lavender Tower's spectral economy trading rare candies with Ecrutique's dancers. Culturally, the colour-coded cities export a visual lexicon, cerulean's blues tinting Johto's lakes, vermilion's ports docking ships laden with Kanto tech. The birds, Articuno's gales from sea foam whipping Johto's coasts, Zapdos crackling over the power plant's grids that power both lands, Moltres' embers warming Emberspur's shared springs, patrol the hegemony's frontiers. Porygon, birthed in Kanto labs, infiltrates digital networks spanning regions, a silicon envoy of dominance. Yet the plateau's formula endures because it weaponizes aspiration. Every child in Pallet, New Bark, a little root dreams of that climb. The cable cars creak upward, the roar of crowds, the chambers hush before Lorelei's dugong unleashes sheer cold. It's the unbreakable spine of the journey, 8 trials forging you, 4 guardians testing, 1 rival claiming the crown. Later games homage it obsessively. Galar's stadium spectacle nods to the Colosseum. Paldea's academy paths mimic the badge quest. Kanto didn't just invent the league, it patented the soul of Pokémon mastery. As we scale these heights together, the figure at Mount Silver's pinnacle casts a longer shadow still, one that haunts every silent trainer who follows in Red's footsteps. Tune in tomorrow night for Chapter 7, the silent protagonist's shadow, where we'll unravel why that voiceless legend from Pallet Town eclipses every hero since, pulling you deeper into the void he leaves behind. But that dominance, forged at the Indigo Plateau, finds its purest expression not in crowds or ceremonies, but in isolation, high above the clouds on Mount Silver, where a lone figure waits in eternal vigil. Red, the silent protagonist from Kanto's genesis, has become the unbreakable benchmark, the shadow every trainer measures themselves against across the franchise's entire timeline. You remember him as you. In Red and Blue, he's the blank slate you pour your ambition into, starting as a kid from Pallet Town with nothing but a Pokeball and a dream. Professor Oak hands you that first Pokémon, and from there, it's your hands guiding the badges from Brock's Rocky Gym to Giovanni's shadowed Viridian Lair. You unravel Team Rocket's schemes, stare down Mewtwo's raw fury in Cerulean Cave, and storm the Elite Four, claiming the championship that Blue thought was his birthright. Red doesn't speak a word through it all. His silence is your voice, his victories your trophies. He's the player avatar, ephemeral, defined by what you make him. 3 years pass in the world of gold and silver. Johto unfolds before you, a land of fresh legends and new rivals. But Kanto calls again. You cross back through the monorail from Goldenrod, reclaim those 8 badges under a subtler tyranny of Team Rocket remnants, and then the path steepens. Mount Silver looms at the border, its peaks shrouded in perpetual storm, a natural fortress where blizzards howl and avalanches guard the summit. This isn't just a mountain, it's the threshold between worlds, where Johto's warmth gives way to Kanto's unforgiving chill. Legends whisper of Tyranitar, prowling the slopes, ancient guardians enforcing the divide, as if the land itself knows what's waiting up top. And there he is, Red, no longer your puppet, but a mythic sentinel perched on the precipice. His red cap tilts against the gale, Pikachu at his side, crackling with untamed electricity. He doesn't greet you. No rival taunts, no professor's wisdom. Just a nod, and the battle erupts. This is the battle at the summit, the single most significant narrative moment in all of Generation 2, because it shatters the illusion of progress. You've conquered Johto's gyms, toppled the Elite Four at the shared Indigo Plateau, traversed Kanto anew. Yet here, Red eclipses it all. His Pikachu surges at level 81, Thunderbolt splitting the sky. Espeon and Snorlax tank your assaults like living walls. Blastoise and Venusaur, evolved from those humble starters, unleash hydro pumps and solar beams honed over years of unseen training. Typhlosion falls, then your ace, and suddenly you're the one grasping for a revive. Why does this confrontation tower over even the legendary beasts of Johto? Because it's you against your own origin. Red embodies the purity of Kanto's blueprint, the badge quest, the league climb, the defeat of evil, perfected to godhood. In Crystal, his team adapts with Tiflosian, mirroring your starter, a deliberate Seat Echo forcing you to outplay your past self. Heart Gold and Soul Silver amplify it. The summit music swells into an orchestral hymn. Fog rolls across pixelated crags, and Red's silence screams louder than any dialogue. Victory here doesn't just grant a title, it anoints you as worthy heir to Kanto's throne. But only barely. Red vanishes into the mist afterward, immortal, untouchable, his level 90 monsters, a promise he'll always lurk one step ahead. This transition from Avatar to Legend cements Red as the timeline's eternal yardstick. Fast forward through Hoenn's oceans, Sinnoh's peaks, Unova's skylines, every protagonist chases his ghost. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, you're red again, but wiser, facing blue as the final rival. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee recast him through Ash's lens, yet Mount Silver's shadow lingers in the code. Even Scarlet and Violet's epilogue nods back, with Kanto cameos underscoring the loop. Red's silence evolves into myth. Fan sites tally his dominance, ROM hacks pit him against gods like Arceus, and theories paint him as the franchise's hidden champion, wandering dimensions. He's not just strong, he's the aspirational void, the reason your Pokédex feels incomplete without those original 151. Consider the atmosphere of that summit. Wind whips snow into blinding sheets, your screen flickers under the strain of maxed out stats, and Red's sprite stands resolute, Cap shadowing eyes that have seen Mewtwo's rage and the rocket's fall. Winning feels Pyrrhic. His team respawns infinitely in rematches, a grind that mirrors life's endless challenges. This isn't filler. It's the narrative's zenith for Gen 2, bridging Kanto's isolationism with Johto's expansion. Red guards the border not as foe, but as gatekeeper, ensuring only Kanto's true children pass. His presence declares that no matter how far the world expands, achievement circles back to Pallet Town's quiet streets. Every Pokémon game orbits this shadow. Professor Oak's Pokédex ripples outward, but Red wields it like Excalibur. Team Rocket's Mafia Blueprint spawns echoes in galactics and skulls, yet Giovanni's shadow falls shortest against Red's peak. The Indigo Plateau unites regions, but Mount Silver divides worthy from pretender. He's the reason Let's Go sold millions in 2018. Nostalgia for that silent climb. In anime crossovers, trainers invoke his name like a deity. Manga arcs pit him against interdimensional threats. Red's evolution from blank canvas to Colossus proves Kanto's lore isn't static. It's the gravitational core, pulling every generation home. Yet whispers persist about how Kanto secured such reverence. Was Johto truly a willing neighbour, or something more coerced, with Red's perch as the final enforcer? That question unravels fully in Chapter 8, the Johto Annexation theory, where the monorail's gleam hides darker designs. Red stands there, on the windswept peak of Mount Silver, the ultimate guardian at the edge of Kanto's domain, his silhouette etched against the perpetual storm clouds that rage over the mountain's summit. You've just bested him, the silent legend from Pallet Town, but pause for a moment and look beyond that victory. Mount Silver isn't just any mountain, it's the jagged border where Kanto bleeds into Johto, a natural fortress that whispers of contested lands and uneasy alliances. What if that final battle isn't merely a test of strength, but a subtle nod to Kanto's iron grip on its neighbour, a grip so complete that Johto feels less like a sovereign region and more like an annexed province? Consider the paths that brought you there. After claiming your 8 badges across Johto's rolling hills and ancient towers, from Violet City's traditional spires to Ecruteak's fog-shrouded dance halls, you don't head to some proud independent league hall flying Johto's banner. No, the game funnels you straight to the Indigo Plateau, that gleaming coliseum straddling the border, built on Kanto's terms. It's the same arena where Brock, Misty and the old guard from Pallet Town's shadow once reigned supreme. Johto's elite trainers, like Will with his psychic veil, or Koga's poisoned daggers, serve under the Indigo banner, not some separate Johto throne. This isn't coincidence, it's conquest masked as convenience. Why pour resources into a duplicate league when Kanto's prototype already dominates the continental stage? That shared infrastructure runs deeper, threading through steel rails and ocean swells like veins, pumping Kanto's lifeblood into Johto's heart. Picture the magnet train, that sleek silver bullet erupting from Goldenrod City's underground station, hurtling at impossible speeds towards Saffron's golden spires. Goldenrod, Johto's bustling metropolis, with its department stores and radio tower piercing the sky, owes its modernity to this lifeline. The train doesn't chug from some rustic Johto depot. Its technology screams Kanto engineering, the same ingenuity that powers Saffron's psychic experiments and Celadon's slot machine empires. You board in Johto, but every whoosh of maglev propulsion echoes the power plant's humming generators back in Kanto, where Zapdos once crackled amid the ruins. It's expansionism on rails, Kanto exporting its industrial might to bind Johto closer, turning a neighbouring frontier into a satellite city dependent on the daily commute. And then there's the SS Aqua, that grand ferry bobbing in Olivine's harbour, its horns blaring across the waves as it cuts from Johto's western coast to Vermilion's electric docks. Olivine gleams with lighthouse beams guiding ships through the night. Yet this vessel isn't a humble fishing trawler. It's a luxury liner rivaling the SS Anne from Kanto's own seas, complete with cabins, a gym, and decks alive with salty breezes. Depart from Johto, arrive in Kanto, and feel the shift. Johto's fishermen and lighthouse keepers give way to Vermilion's surging ports, where Lieutenant Surge drills his recruits under Kanto's militaristic sun. These aren't neutral trade routes. They're corridors of control, Kanto's nautical prowess flooding Johto with trainers, goods, and influence. Why does Johto lack its own high seas fleet or rapid transit? Because Kanto built them for her, strings attached. This web of connections paints Johto not as a peer, but as a ward under Kanto's patronage. Goldenrod's department store mirrors Celadon's opulence, stocked with wares shipped from Kanto's factories. Ecrutique's burned tower, haunted by Ho-Oh's flames, stands in cultural echo to Kanto's Lavender Town ghosts. Both regions haunted by losses that Kanto's resilience seems to overshadow. Even the Pokémon themselves hint at it, Tyranitar prowling Mount Silver's slopes, a Johto native guarding Kanto's frontier like a watchdog on a leash. Fan theorists call it the Annexation War, a shadow conflict where Kanto's Indigo League steamrolled Johto's traditions, co-opting their gym circuit and crowning the plateau as joint capital. Kanto funds the monorail, staffs the ferries, and claims the championship. Johto gets the badges, but Kanto keeps the power. Dig into the lore, and the imbalance sharpens. Professor Elm in New Barktown hands you your starter, but it's Professor Oak's Pokédex. From Pallet that tracks your journey across both lands, Elm defers to Oak like a junior colleague, sharing data that flows back to Kanto's labs. Team Rocket's resurgence in Johto, radio tower takeover, Lake of Rage experiments, feels like echoes of Giovanni's Viridian Empire, not a fresh Johto syndicate. They infiltrate Mahogany Town's secret base, but their endgame circles back to Kanto's borders, culminating in that Rocket executive Blaine encounter on Cinnabar's shores. Johto fights the remnants, but Kanto birthed the beast. Without its own league, Johto's champions are forever second class, funneled into Indigo's shadow. Imagine the politics: Kanto's Elite Four, Lorelei's icy precision, Bruno's monastic fury set the standard, while Johto's contributions feel grafted on. The plateau's cable car climbs from Kanto's side, the victory road carved through Kanto's mountains. Johto trainers cross the border humbled, badges in hand, only to face Kanto's ghosts like Red, its dominance disguised as unity. Kanto's technology and traditions colonizing Johto's soul, one train ride and ferry horn at a time. This annexation theory reshapes how you see the Generation 2 games. Heart Gold and Soul Silver amplify it. The DS remakes polished goldenrod's shine with Kanto-sourced flair. The Pokewalker, a portable tether to Pallet's origins. And even the legendary beasts roaming Johto's ruins defer to Kanto's birds in legacy. Johto thrives under Kanto's wing, but at what cost to its independence? The magnet train doesn't just connect cities, it chains destinies. As these threads of control tighten around the original 151 Pokémon that seeded it all, we edge closer to unraveling their very blueprint. Stick around for Chapter 9, the DNA of the 151, where we'll dissect how Kanto's genetic legacy pulses through every creature in the Pokédex, binding the entire franchise in ways you never suspected. Those gleaming rails of the magnet train and the steady churn of the SS Aqua didn't just link Kanto to Johto, they carried something far more vital across the Pokémon world, the raw essence of the original 151. These weren't abstract ideas slapped onto monsters, they were creatures first, drawn from the Earth's own menagerie, twisted just enough to spark wonder without losing their anchor in reality. Take Bulbasaur, not some floating orb of grass energy or a sentient tree with laser eyes. No, it's a sturdy amphibian, squat and armoured like a horned toad crossed with a dinosaur hatchling, that bulb on its back pulsing like a living rucksack of potential. You can picture it waddling through Pallet Town's dew-kissed grass at dawn, vines twitching in the mist. Squirtle follows suit, a shelled turtle pup, eyes wide with that perpetual curiosity, water jets primed like a fire hydrant on legs. Charmander, a flame-tailed lizard, scaly hide glinting under Viridian Forest's canopy, its tail flicker the only hint of the inferno waiting to roar. But this creature-first philosophy pulses through every one of them. Pidgey isn't a mechanical bird drone, it's a sparrow with attitude, feathers ruffled by seafoam island gales. Rattata, a scrappy purple rodent gnawing cave roots in rock tunnel. Even the oddballs like Voltorb mimic wild Pokeballs because Game Freak rooted them in mimicry, in nature's deceptions, the way a snake coils like a vine or a frog swells to scare predators. They prioritized silhouettes you recognize from a backyard glance or a zoo trip, then layered Pokémon magic sparingly. No over-designed evolutions bursting with unrelated gimmicks. Venusaur grows into a walking jungle fortress, tank-like and inevitable. Blastoise's cannons emerge from its shell like a battleship's turrets on a tortoise frame. Charizard, a dragon born from a salamander's spark, wings vast enough to eclipse Cinnabar's volcano glow. That choice birthed a timeless aesthetic. Fire those sprites up on your screen today, 30 years on, and they don't date like some Johto pixel art bloated with held items or Hoenn's contest frills. The 151 feel eternal because they're archetypal. Venonat's fuzzy insect body evokes every moth you've chased at dusk. Para's scuttles like a real hermit crab, mushrooms sprouting from its carapace as if nature willed it. They age like fine sake from the Kanto plains, their simplicity letting your imagination fill the voids. Later Pokémon, often concept-heavy, steel behemoths pondering existential dread or fairy wisps defying physics. But Kanto's originals stay grounded, their forms whispering, "I've always been here, lurking in the wilds." You see this DNA replicated endlessly, but here's where the Kanto bias sharpens into view. Flip through any modern Pokédex, Scarlet and Violet, Legends Arceus, and count the regional variants. Not just any, Charizard and Pikachu dominate like undisputed monarchs. Hisuian Zoroark? Sure. Galarian Meowth? Fine. But Charizard gets a paradox form ripping through Area Zero's time storms. Pikachu, a chonky winter coat in Kalos snowfields. Why these two over and over? Because they're Kanto's crown jewels. The firebrand dragon and the electric mascot etched into the franchise's heartbeat. Pikachu first. Yellow version made it the face, but its roots burrow deeper. Oak's Labrat, the spark that lit Pallet's fuse. Every spin-off, every merch wave, Pikachu variants flood the market. Detective hats in Alola, balloons in Galar festivals, and even ichthyosaur hybrids in ancient Sinnoh seas. Charizard mirrors it, a starter Evo that screams apex predator. Its megaforms in X and Y, flexing ancient dragon lore straight from Mewtwo's cloned fury. Paldea's terrestrial Charizard gleams crystal-winged. Legend ZA promises more. No Sinnoh Torterra gets that royal treatment. No Unova Serperia. It's Kanto's gravitational pull. These icons embody the creature purity, outselling and outshining because they tap that primal recognition. Game Freak knows, deviate too far and the magic fades. Kanto's stars keep pulling regions back, ensuring every game nods home. Yet woven into this creature, DNA, lies the type chart's quiet genius, a mathematical lattice so elegant it borders on divine geometry, yet riddled with flaws that echo Kanto's own hubris. Picture the original 15 types. Normal, fire, water, grass, electric, ice, fighting, poison, ground, flying, psychic, bug, rock, ghost, dragon. No dark, no steel, no fairy, just a rock, paper, scissors web, where each counters 2 or 3, resisted by as many. Fire melts grass but steams against water. Electric zaps flying but grounds out on ground. It's a cycle of dominance, roughly balanced. Flying dodges ground and fighting, only to falter against electric and ice. You could map it as a tournament bracket, where no type reigns supreme. Psychic crushes fighting. And poison but shatters on bug and ghost. That rare double weakness, a nod to unseen shadows. The perfection shines in combat flow. Early gyms test it ruthlessly. Brock's rocks demand water or grass. Misty's waters need electric or grass. Giovanni's grounds laugh at electric, but crumble to water, grass, ice. It's a pedagogical marvel, teaching type calculus through pewter pebbles and cerulean cascades. Statistically, it holds. Bugs prey on psychics, dragons lord over everything but ice, until later, gens meddle. This chart powered Red and Blue's metagame, where Blastoise tanks, dragons, Alakazam sweeps poisons, and Zapdos reigns as the untouchable Bird King. But flaws fracture the facade, foreshadowing the series' fractures. Ghost barely works, its immunities to normal and fighting hobble it, turning Haunter into a gimmick over Gen 1. Psychic dominates unchecked, no dark to counter its mind games, so Mewtwo solos the Elite Four with psychic barrages. Dragon useless offensively, resisted by everything but itself, a type for lore more than battle. Bugs flop hard, weak to flight, fire, rock. 4 vulnerabilities stacking like a losing hand. And ground ignores electric, but folds to water, grass, ice. Flying skips electric, and ground but eats rock. These imbalances weren't oversights. They mirror Kanto's wild imperfection. The power plants, Zapdos thriving unchecked, tears. Articuno's ice unchallenged, until Dragonite dreams. Game Freak patched them later. Gold and Silver birthed Dark and Steel to humble Psychic, Fairy in 6th Gen to neuter dragons, but those fixes exposed the original's raw blueprint. The 151 thrived in imperfection, their type matchups fueling rivalries that still echo. Pikachu's Thunderbolt frying Pidgeot, Charizard's Flamethrower wilting Venusaur. It's why remakes like Fire Red tweak little, the math sings too purely. Venture into Crystal's enhanced ghost coverage, or Let's Go's beefed psychic counters, and you feel Kanto's DNA mutating, and yet never escaping its cradle. This foundational code, creature purity, biased icons, a type web both flawless and frayed, explains why every Pokédex loops back to Pallet. Oak's entries weren't entries, they were genesis. And as we peel back these layers, anomalies emerge in the unlikeliest preserves. Up next in Chapter 10, the Safari Zone incident reveals cracks in that perfect ecosystem you never suspected. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, I'm curious, Where in the world are you watching this from? Drop a comment below and let our global community know. And if you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button to help more people discover this story. That timeless creature focus in Kanto's original lineup hits different when you step into the wild fringes of Fuchsia City, where the Safari Zone sprawls like a half-tamed jungle slapped onto the map by human hands. You arrive dusty from Route 18, the cycling road humming under your tyres, and suddenly you're handed a handful of safari balls, some bait and rocks. No Pokédex scans, no battles, just this eerie ritual of luring Pokémon into capture. It's not just a mechanic, it's Kanto whispering about the cost of preservation in a world that's already bending nature to our will. Picture the air thick with humidity, the grass parting for Drifloon drifting lazily overhead, or a Tauros charging through the underbrush because you tossed the wrong rock. The Safari Zone isn't some pristine wilderness, it's a contained exhibit, fenced in to keep the rare ones from wandering into Fuchsia's neon glow. Baoba, the warden, grunts his rules at you from behind a counter cluttered with maps and half-eaten bait. He doesn't care about your badges or your rivals' taunts. Here, you're just another tourist poking at what's left of the wild. But peel back the leaves and the storytelling seeps through. This zone was built to save Pokémon from extinction, or so the brochures claim. Yet every step you take echoes with the ethics of it all. Are you conserving or commodifying? Throwing a safari ball feels pure at first, gentle, no harm done, but 30 balls later, with a Scyther or Pinsir in tow, you wonder if you've just plucked the last thread from a fraying ecosystem. Kanto's designers didn't hide the cracks. The Safari Zone sits right on Fuchsia's edge, a booming port city that swallowed rural roots whole. Back in the game's lore, or whispers hint at an expansion that never fully bloomed. Plans for the zone to stretch further, maybe linking to Cinnabar's labs or Viridian's forests, but something stalled it. The warden knows. His family ran this place since the 30s, they say, when Fuchsia was just fishing huts and mangrove swamps. Baoba's gold teeth quest? That's no side gag. Lose your dentures in the tall grass, and he rewards you with HM4, strength, a nod to the muscle needed to drag this artificial paradise into existence. Fan digs into old dev notes suggest the zone was meant to evolve, gates opening to hidden areas with ancient Pokémon fossils or prototype legendaries, but cuts left it frozen, a relic of ambition gone quiet. Why the secrecy? Some tie it to conservation scandals, rumours of poachers slipping through fences, or the warden covering up overhunting that emptied the plains before Red even arrived. And then there's the man-made shadow lurking in those enclosures. While safari Pokémon roam free, Kanto's true industrial ghosts haunt the periphery. Grimer oozing from factory runoff in Celadon, Voltorb mimicking Pokeballs in abandoned power stations, Porygon flickering into digital existence from Saffron's labs. These aren't creatures born of myth or migration. They're symptoms of Kanto's underbelly, reflections of 1970s Japan when the Kanto plain choked on smog and synthetic sludge. Grimer, that purple blob birthed from pollution pipelines, slithers into the safari vibe indirectly, its Mookie evolution hulking like toxic waste mutated overnight. You catch him near routes laced with urban sprawl, and a reminder that Fuchsia's wild zone butts up against factories belching smoke. Voltorb? Pure mimicry anxiety. Rolling spheres that explode if you treat him wrong. Echoing the Pokeball boom that turned companionship into mass production. They infest the wilds near Fuchsia, as if the safari's fences can't contain the fallout from Kanto's tech rush. Porygon takes it further, the first Pokemon coded from scratch. No DNA, just lines of ones and zeros from a researcher who dreamed of virtual companions. In the safari's hush, you feel the contrast sharp, organic Kangaskhan nursing young in the grass, versus this polygon ghost that phases through reality. It's industrial anxiety distilled. Kanto, modelled on Tokyo's post-war grind, frets over what we've wrought. Grimer embodies chemical spills poisoning rivers. Voltorb, like the dehumanizing churn of assembly lines. Porygon, the silicon soul replacing flesh. Every game since Nod's back, Unova's urban sprawl echoes Voltorb swarms. Galar's sludge factories spawn new Grimer variants. Even Paldea's tech labs birth digital echoes. But Kanto plants the seed, using the Safari Zone as your classroom. You lure a wild execute with bait, then bike to the power plant and dodge electrode blasts. Nature preserved in one spot, perverted in the next. The Warden's mystery deepens the unease. Bioba Senior vanished into the zone's depths years back, leaving cryptic journals about balancing the herds and city encroachment. Fuasha's expansion halted abruptly. Dev builds show unused maps where the safari bled into a sprawling safari park, rivaling Hoenn's, complete with tram rides over Tauros plains. But post-Gen 1, it's mothballed Bioba Jr. just shuffling visitors through gates numbered 1 to 4. Theories swirl. Did conservation ethics clash with Giovanni's rocket schemes, poaching rare Johto imports for black market trades? Or was it Mewtwo's rampage ripples, scaring off investors? The gold teeth, a family heirloom etched with coordinates to buried zone secrets, hinting at pre-Pokédex experiments, blending man-made Pokémon into the wild stock. Red hands it back, unlocks strength, but never questions the gaps. Classic silent protagonist, stepping over history's teeth. This incident, the Safari's stalled saga, underscores Kanto's core tension. We're guardians until greed calls, preserving pockets while polluting the whole. Man-made Pokémon don't just fill Pokédex slots. They indict the progress that built Indigo's towers and Saffron's grids. Fuchsia's fog rolls in at dusk, blurring zone fences with city lights, and you can't shake the feeling that every capture pulls from a finite well. It's why later regions homage it. Sinnoh's Great Marsh, Unova's Nature Preserves, all grappling with the same ethics. But Kanto's the origin wound. As we push deeper into Kanto's engineered wilds, the sparks flying from neglected generators hint at what's next in Chapter 11, the power plant's legacy, a blackout saga that powered the birds and birthed Voltorb's curse, waiting to illuminate how Kanto's energy sins electrify every region since. Those man-made Pokémon, like Voltorb and Grimer, weren't just anomalies in Kanto's wilds. They were harbingers of a deeper tension, where human ambition clashed head-on with the raw pulse of nature. And nowhere does that collision hit harder than at the power plant, that hulking relic on the outskirts of Route 10, where the lights flicker eternally in the shadow of something far more primal. You approach it through the rocky cliffs, the air humming with static, your hair standing on end before you even spot the first Magnemite drifting like a ghost in the haze. The facility sprawls across the landscape, a labyrinth of rusted girders and shattered glass domes, once the beating heart of Kanto's energy grid. Generators the size of houses groan in perpetual half-life, sparks arcing between exposed wires, feeding power to a region that never fully let go. But now it's abandoned, overrun, not by decay, but by the very forces it tried to harness. Electric types swarm the corridors, Pikachu scampering along conduits, Electa buzz, hurling thunderbolts at intruders, Raichu coiling like living batteries amid the debris. The air tastes metallic, ozone thick, every step crackling underfoot as if the ground itself resents your presence. At the core of it all lurks Zapdos, the Thunderbird, not perched on a throne or enshrined in myth, but nesting amid the wreckage like a storm-given form. Its feathers gleam yellow-black, eyes like lightning strikes, wings that unfurl to blot out the fluorescent buzz overhead. You don't summon it with a flute or a ritual, you stumble into its domain, and it descends in a whirlwind of gales and bolts, a force of nature, reclaiming what humanity built. This isn't a temple, it's a habitat, scarred and alive, where the legendary bird has turned the plant into its eyrie, fusing wild electricity with failing machinery in a symphony of chaos. That setup right there in the power plant marks the first true whisper of environmental storytelling that would define Pokémon worlds to come. Think about it. Long before the distortion world warped Sinnoh's reality or the ultraspace bled into Alola's skies, Kanto embedded its legendaries in ecosystems that screamed imbalance. Zapdos doesn't float in ethereal voids or demand worship. It's tangled in the fallout of progress, a living embodiment of what happens when you dam a river of lightning. Later regions would amplify this. Kyogre flooding Hoenn's shores, Gruden scorching Unova's lands, even the lake guardians in Sinnoh tied to polluted waters and fractured spirits. But Kanto pioneered it subtly through places like this, the power plant as a cautionary tale, where tech's overreach invites the wild back in with talons bared. And that's why Kanto's legendaries hit different. They're not deities on pedestals, benevolent creators like Arceus or Dialga, handed down through scripture and sages. No, Articuno chills the seafoam islands into eternal frost, turning caverns into glacial traps. Moltres smoulders in Victory Road's depths, its flames licking at the heels of climbers. Zapdos storms the power plant, shorting out the grid that powers Saffron's towers. They're natural disasters incarnate, elemental furies that trainers don't befriend through prophecy, but battle into submission, like wrestling a hurricane. Articuno embodies blizzards that bury roots in snowdrifts, stranding travelers for days. Moltres ignites underground infernos, forcing miners to abandon Victory Road's veins. Zapdos? And it blacks out entire cities, surges ripping through lines from Vermilion to Celadon, leaving Kanto in flickering darkness until a bold kid with a Master Ball intervenes. This raw, untamed quality sets them apart from the God Kings of later lore. In Johto, you have Ho-Oh and Lugia soaring above human spires, guardians almost. Sinnoh's creation trio dictates time and space from the cosmos. But Kanto's birds? They're the world's immune response to industrialization. Phenomena you endure and conquer, not revere. Zapdos doesn't speak in riddles or grant boons. It crackles and dives, a perpetual threat woven into the map. Players feel it viscerally, the screen flashing white as thunder crashes, your Pokémon trembling under the assault. It's disaster porn in pixel form, priming us for every ecological meltdown in games to follow. From Kalos's life-draining Yveltal to Galar's Dynamax storms, echoing Zapdos's fury. Now, peel back the layers, and the power plant reveals an even tighter knot in Kanto's web. Its energy grid birthed the infrastructure that powers the PC storage system itself. Bill, that reclusive genius holed up north of Cerulean, didn't invent his miracle in a vacuum. His prototype PC box drew straight from the plant's surplus power, those massive turbines churning out megawatts to fuel early data relays across the region. Before global networks, Kanto experimented with digitizing Pokémon storage right here, beaming captives into virtual stasis via electric pulses, tested in the plant's sublevels amid buzzing Voltorb swarms, faulty surges, corrupted early transfers, spawning glitches like missing number, but it worked. Scaling up to Oak's Pokédex-linked boxes that every professor worldwide cribbed from. Rowan trekked to Pallet Town, not just for philosophy. He studied the power plant's logs, those yellowed charts, mapping how raw Zapdos, level voltage, stabilized quantum storage fields. The grid's design, high-capacity lines snaking from Route 10 through Saffron's magnet train hub, formed the backbone, exporting tech to Johto via the monorail, then Paldea and beyond. Every time you deposit a Pokémon at a center, anywhere from Lumiose to Mesagoza, you're tapping Kanto's legacy current, the same juice that once lit up Giovanni's rocket dens and now hums silently in server farms. Zapdos unwittingly supercharged it all, its storms recalibrating the very frequencies Bill fine-tuned, turning potential catastrophe into the franchise's lifeblood. Without that plant, a no seamless box. Transfers bridging regions, no Pokédex evolutions, triggered by remote data. It's Kanto's invisible export, power as the great equalizer, letting a kid in Unova store a Haxorus alongside a starter from Pallet. The birds ensured it stayed wild at heart, a reminder that even the grid bows to thunder. You can chart it on old maps, the lines pulsing from the plant, converging at Bill's lab, radiating out like veins from an electric heart. As we trace these currents deeper though, they lead straight to a forgotten figure, pulling strings from the shadows of Lavender Town. Up next in Chapter 12, the Mr. Fuji Connection. That name alone unlocks doors to Mewtwo's origins you never saw coming. Stick around, this rabbit hole just electrified. And while Kanto's legendaries, like Zapdos, embody the raw fury of nature, reclaiming our overreached domains, the true scars of human hubris run deeper, etched into the souls of the scientists who dared play God, right here in the heart of the region. Dr. Fuji, that enigmatic figure cloaked in quiet remorse, stands at the epicenter of it all, his path a winding trail from the fevered labs of forbidden experiments to the somber refuge of Lavender Town's volunteer Pokémon house. You can almost feel the humid air of the Pokémon mansion on Cinnabar Island, that crumbling Gothic ruin perched on the volcano's flank, where Fuji's team first unearthed the ancient secrets of Mew. It started with a whisper from the jungle depths, a fleeting pink shadow that Fuji himself named Mew, the ancestor of all Pokémon. Its DNA a genetic tapestry, holding every evolutionary possibility. They chased it through tangled vines and forgotten ruins, capturing that elusive sprite not for wonder, but for dissection. In sterile chambers lit by flickering fluorescent bulbs, they sliced into its essence, splicing and reshaping until Mewtwo stirred in a tank of bubbling amniotic fluid, eyes snapping open with a psychic roar that shattered glass and steel alike. The destruction was cataclysmic. Mewtwo, raw power unbound, lashed out at its creators, reducing the mansion to charred skeletons of girders and ash-strewn halls. Fuji survived, but something vital perished in him that night. The unscarred idealism of a researcher who once dreamed of miracles. He vanished from the scientific circles of Kanto, those elite networks buzzing in Saffron's towering labs, and Celadon's research parks, where whispers of his failure echoed like ghosts. No triumphant papers, no accolades, just a man adrift, haunted by the newborn god he'd unleashed into cerulean caves' abyssal shadows. Trace his footsteps westward, past the shadowed roots where wild Pokémon scatter at human approach, up to Lavender Town. That purple-hued hamlet, forever draped in perpetual twilight fog rolling off the Pokémon Tower, became his sanctuary. There, in the volunteer Pokémon house, a modest shelter nestled at the tower's base, he poured his fractured spirit into care. Day after day he'd tend to the abandoned, the orphaned, the ones left behind by trainers who'd fallen in battles or vanished into the wilds. Cubones mourning their lost mothers, their skulls echoing with faint cries, ghastly drifting like mournful mist, drawn to the tower's restless spirits. Fuji fed them, healed them, whispered apologies to the empty air, as if each berry offered to a trembling Eevee could atone for the life he'd twisted into monstrosity. This wasn't mere charity, it was redemption woven into the region's very fabric. Kanto's scientists, you see, carry a collective shadow, a guilt buried under layers of progress. Think of the power plant's electric ghosts, Voltorb mimicking Pokeballs born from assembly lines gone wrong, or Porygon, that digital phantom engineered in windowless labs to bridge flesh and code. They pushed boundaries, Mew's cloning, artificial evolutions, man-made species, chasing dominance over the wild unknown. But Fuji embodied the backlash, and his flight to Lavender, a quiet confession that science without soul breeds tragedy. In caring for these Pokémon, he sought to balance the scales, turning the tools of creation toward preservation, his hands now gentle where they once carved ruthlessly. And here's where Kanto's tendrils stretch across the seas, proving no game escapes its grasp. Fuji's work on Mew's DNA, that primordial code of infinite potential, didn't end in rubble. It echoed in Kalos, where mega evolution erupted from stones channeling ancient life force, a direct evolution of those splicing techniques, keys unlocking hidden powers in Pokémon long dormant, much like Mewtwo's unchained might. Alola took it further with Z-moves, crystalline amplifiers drawing on trainer Pokémon bonds to unleash cataclysmic bursts. The same forbidden energy Fuji tapped when he forced evolution beyond nature's rhythm. Even Hoenn's Devon Corporation, with its Pokéball innovations and fossil revivals, owes a debt to those Cinnabar breakthroughs, where life was rebuilt from genetic scraps. You hear it in the Lavender Tower's wind, that low moan blending ghost cries with the distant hum of Saffron's machinery, a reminder that Kanto's scientists never truly fled their sins. Fuji stayed, tending his house until the end, his final gift, a network of channels linking lost Pokémon to their trainers. A digital atonement bridging the gaps his ambition tore open. Red himself uncovers this thread late in his journey, climbing the tower not just for badges, but to confront the ghosts of creation's cost, reuniting a boy with his departed mother's Marowak as its spirit finally at peace. This hidden current of guilt and grace pulses through every region, every game, because Kanto birthed not just Pokémon, but the moral quandaries we chase endlessly. Scientists there learned the peril of tampering with life's core, yet their forbidden knowledge seeded the spectacles of megastones in Lysandra's labs, Z-crystals in the Ether Foundation's vaults, echoes of Fuji's folly fueling triumphs and terrors afar. As we follow these migratory threads from Kanto's shadowed labs outward, you'll want to stick around for Chapter 13, the Hoenn Migration, where we uncover how the region's primal forces pulled even the most distant lands back into Kanto's unbreakable orbit. Dr. Fuji's quiet atonement in the Lavender Volunteer House marked just one thread in Kanto's vast web of influence, and a web that stretched far beyond its colour-named cities and shadowed labs, reaching across stormy seas to the volcanic shores of Hoenn. There, in the land of relentless downpours and sky-piercing summits, you find the first clear signs of what scholars call the Hoenn Migration, a subtle exodus of trainers, scientists, and battling philosophies from Kanto's heartland, carrying with them whispers of the old world's supremacy. Picture the bustling streets of Slateport City, where sailors fresh off ships from distant ports swap tales under the salty spray of the harbour. One weathered captain leans against a crate, his voice gravelly, as he tells you about the Kanto veterans who've washed up on these beaches. Those fellas from the east, they train different, he says, eyes narrowing, tough as Mount Chimney Rock. Badges from pewter and cerulean pinned to their jackets like war medals. It's not isolated chatter. Wander into the Rust Burrow gym, and Roxanne, the stone-solid leader, confesses her own fascination. I've studied rocks from Kanto's mountains, she admits, her voice echoing off fossil displays. Pewter City's museum holds secrets our own Devon Corporation is only beginning to uncover. These aren't coincidences. They're breadcrumbs leading back to Pallet Town, proof that Kanto's lore has seeped into Hoenn's soil like rainwater into lava tubes. But the migration runs deeper than passing ships and shared fossils. In Movil City's game corner, a sharp-eyed man in a pinstripe suit murmurs about underground networks smuggling rare Pokémon eggs. Eggs traced to Viridian Forest poachers who fled Team Rocket's collapse. He doesn't name names, but the implication hangs heavy. Kanto's criminal underbelly didn't dissolve after the Sylph Company raid. It relocated, adapting to Hoenn's meteor-fallen wilds. Even the Pokémon contest halls in Lily Cove buzz with it. A coordinator from Celadon City, her Eevee ribbons fluttering, boasts of techniques learned from Kanto's casino lights, where battles blurred into high-stakes gambles. Everywhere you turn, Hoenn's vibrant chaos pulses with Kanto's rhythm. The same 8-badge pilgrimage, the same elite challenges, but laced with deference to the origin point. At the pinnacle of this influence stands Stephen Stone, Hoenn's champion, a man whose steel-clad teams and meteor hunting quests scream Kanto reverence. You meet him first in the rust-hued depths of Granite Cave, his voice calm amid dripping stalactites. "The stones here remind me of the caves back east," he says, handing you a letter etched with ancient script. "But it's on Victory Road, after your own grueling climb, that he reveals the truth." "I've travelled to Kanto and Johto," Stephen confides, his gaze fixed on the horizon, fought their toughest trainers, studied their league at Indigo Plateau. Kanto is the old world of battling, the cradle where true strength was forged. He doesn't mince words. To him, Hoenn is a new frontier, but Kanto remains the unyielding benchmark, its champions like Lance and Blue casting long shadows over his own triumphs. Why does Stephen, with his vast resources and Devon-backed empire, bow to this distant ancestor? Because Kanto isn't just a place, it's the archetype. His father, the corporation's president, echoes it in boardroom whispers about importing Pokédex tech directly from Professor Oak's lab. Gym leaders follow suit. Brawley in Dewford speaks of surfing waves rivaling Cinnabar's coasts, while Winona atop Fortree's canopy invokes the legendary birds guarding Kanto's power plants. Even Wallace, the water maestro who claims the title after Stephen steps aside, carries the torch. In his Suitopolis throne room, surrounded by cascading falls, he muses on aquatic legends from Seafoam Islands, his strategies mirroring Misty's cascade of pressure. These champions don't just reference Kanto, they pilgrimage to it in their minds, treating it as the old world where battling evolved from primal clashes to disciplined art. This veneration hints at darker undercurrents, a subtle nods to a great Pokémon war that reshaped the globe long before your badge quest began. In the Scorched Slab, a hidden chamber east of Route 110, cracked tablets speak of ancient conflicts, fiery behemoths clashing over shattered lands, echoes of Kanto's Mewtwo rampage, or the bird trio's territorial fury. An old diver off Route 132, bubbles rising from his tank, shares a fragmented tale. Kanto's forces tipped the scales back then. Their trainers quelled the chaos, binding legendaries that threatened to swallow regions whole. It's veiled, never outright declared, but the pieces align. Hoenn's lore positions Kanto as the stabilizing power, the region whose heroes ended an era of unchecked Pokémon might, migrating their hard-won peace to far-flung allies. Listen closely. In Evergrande City's Pokémon Center, and a nurse recounts how Kanto refugees brought not just trainers, but ideologies. "They fled after the war," she says softly, bandaging a weary Monferno. "Taught us to harness Mega Evolution precursors, stones from Kanto's depths, awakening hidden powers." These stones, you realise, are no accident. Stephen's obsession with them stems from Cinnabar ruins, where volcanic forges birthed similar evolutions. The migration wasn't mere relocation, it was transplantation. Hoenn's Devon machines hum with Kanto engineering. Its contests mimic Celadon's flair. Its weather institutes probe storms birthed in Vermilion seas. Even the Elite Four, Sydney's dark snarls, Phoebe's ghostly wails, mirror Kanto's post-Johto invasions, Tyranitar roars echoing across shared borders. Yet this influence breeds tension. Or why do Hoenn's wilds team with Kanto originals, like Tentacool, in every tide pool? Or why do Mr. Briney's ship logs reference routes to Pallet? It's as if the regions aren't separate. Kanto's essence migrated wholesale, seeding Hoenn's battles with unbeatable legacies. Trainers from Little Root whisper of dreams to conquer Indigo Plateau. Their starters, Torchic Mudkip Trico, yearning for Oak's validation. The migration explains Stephen's restlessness too. He vanishes post-League, chasing Kanto's ultimate secrets, leaving you to ponder if Hoenn was ever truly independent. These threads pull tighter when you consider the global ripple. Champions across regions echo Stephen's awe. Look to Cynthia in Sinnoh, poring over Kanto ruins for Dialga clues, or Iris in Unova, her dragons tempered by Mount Silver's chill. But Hoenn marks the pivot, At the first bold expansion, where Kanto's shadow looms largest, its old world status cemented in every dialogue, every cave etching. The great Pokémon Wars scars, they're in the magma pools and meteor craters, reminders that Kanto didn't just influence Hoenn, it forged its destiny. As we trace these migrations further, you'll uncover how Kanto's legends demanded remaking, time and again, in Chapter 14, Remaking the Legend. What secrets do those faithful recreations hold about the region's unbreakable grip? Stick around, the truth gets even more profound from here. While Hoenn's champions, like Stephen Stone, revere Kanto as the timeless forge of battling legends, that forge itself needed stoking for a new era. Fire Red and Leaf Green stepped into the flames in 2004, remaking the originals not as sterile replicas, but as living evolutions that sharpened Kanto's edges without slicing through its veiled core. You step off the boat in Pallet Town, the grass swaying under a clearer sky than the grainy Game Boy days ever allowed. The world hums with third-generation Polish, sprites that breathe, battles that flow like water, wild Pokémon encounters scripted with purpose. Yet the heart remains untouched. Mewtwo still lurks in Cerulean Cave, a shadow born from forbidden whispers in the Cinnabar Mansion, its rage echoing the same unfinished symphony. No hand-holding tutorials spell out its birth. The diary pages crumble under your touch, hinting at Mr. Fuji's grief, the scientist's hubris, but leaving the how and why swathed in fog. Fire Red and Leaf Green honor that restraint, layering in subtle expansions, dialogue refined, her roots widened, just enough to feel current, never enough to demystify. Take the power plant. Zapdos crackles amid rusted girders, its electric storm a prelude to ecological parables in later lands, but here, its raw force, untamed. The remakes amplify the desolation. Flickering lights cast longer shadows, Magnemite swarms buzz with menace, and that single diary entry about a black cloud invasion lingers like ozone on the wind. They modernize by weaving in wireless trading, linking your Kanto decks to Hoenn's roster. Yet the foundational riddle endures. Why does this bird embody power itself? A living blackout haunting human ambition. Giovanni's Viridian Gym pulses with the same duplicity. You climb those earthen ramps, his Raiden bellowing, and only after victory does the curtain part. Team Rocket's boss vanishes into the shadows, at his empire fracturing but unbroken in revelation. The remakes deepen this fracture without resolution. Intercepted radio signals hint at his offshore schemes, pulling you southward to uncharted waters. Kanto expands, but its leader's soul stays cloaked, ruthless tycoon or fallen idealist. The mystery fuels the chase. Those offshore schemes bloom across the Sevi Islands, a post-game archipelago that stitches classic Kanto to the modern Pokémon tapestry. Sail from Vermilion's harbour, waves lapping teal shores, and land on one island's Kindle Road, where Moltres once warmed Ember Spa, but now guards Tanobrium ore coveted by shadowy operatives. Tanobrium, a crystalline fuel pulsing with otherworldly energy, ties directly to Rocket's resurgence, their grunts scavenging ruins amid volcanic steam and exotic palms. Yes, you navigate Four Islands Icefall Cave, Articuno's chill frosting your breath, rescuing Lostel from Lupin's lair, her father's grief mirroring Mr. Fuji's quiet atonement back home. 5 Islands Lost Cave swallows light whole, a labyrinth of vanishing walls, where Rocket experiments echo Cinnabar's sins. Deoxys emerges here, meteorite shattered and alien, its DNA helix twisting forms in battle. A Gen 3 legendary crashing Kanto's shores, bridging the pixelated purity of 151 to Hoenn's primal reversals. 6 Islands Pattern Bush teams with Oddish variants, while 7 Islands Tanobi ruins, chamber unknown runes, whispering ancient scripts that prefigure Sinnoh's enigmas. These isles feel like Kanto's hidden appendix, verdant extensions, blending seafoam greens with ruby-red magma flows. A rocket hideout stocked with prototypes from future labs. The Sevii chain cements the transition. Classic foes revived in crisp sprites, modern mechanics like double battles testing your roster, and lore threads dangling toward Hoenn's devolution stones found washed ashore. Rocket's plot culminates in their Sevii base, Celio's network hijacked to summon Deoxys across dimensions, Giovanni's voice crackling through speakers, commanding from afar, his ambitions spilling beyond Kanto's borders. Yet victory scatters them again, the islands reverting to paradise, a fragile bridge where old ghosts meet new horizons. This modernization thrives through the fame checker, a pocket encyclopedia slipped into your bag early on. Tap it in Saffron's copycat theatre, and it hums to life, compiling entries from overheard chats, diary scraps, and even Pokémon cries. Professor Oak's profile unfolds first, not just the kindly grandpa from Pallet, but a prodigy who raced Bill across continents, inventing the Pokédex amid rivalries with Agatha of the Elite Four. Bill himself confesses his Clefairy fascination birthed PC storage, his lighthouse days in Vermilion, a lonely vigil scanning stars. Daisy, Oak's granddaughter, reveals her aura-sensing gift, channeling vibes that soothe even legendaries. Lorelei's icy solitude stems from a childhood on Four Island, Articuno's gales shaping her resolve. Bruno trains in the fighting dojo's underbelly, post-defeat meditations honing his Alakazam. Lance, Dragon Master, forged his path rejecting Viridian's gym, Charizard burns marking his ascent. Giovanni's entry chills deepest. Gym leader by day, rocket architect by night. His Persian astray, he elevated to throne-side companion. Clues to his origins, Viridian ruins, earthen mastery, hint at noble roots twisted by profit. Even minor figures shine, the copycat mimicking Lostel's cries across regions, Mr. Fuji lingering in Lavender's tower, his Mew quest a footnote in Oak's fame logs. These vignettes paint Kanto alive, backstories interlocking like gym badges on your case. The fame checker doesn't narrate, it eavesdrops, piecing portraits from ambient truths, NPC mutterings in pewter taverns, radio broadcasts from Celadon, gravestone etchings in Lavender. It deepens without dictating, letting you wander Cerulean Gym's misty halls, Misty's bio evoking drowned sisters, her Cascade badge a token of submerged loss. Fire red and leaf green thus remake the legend, graphics blooming into third-gen vibrancy, Savi's waves carrying modern mythos ashore, fame checkers glow illuminating faces once flat. Kanto emerges renewed, its mysteries intact, why Mewtwo fled. Giovanni's vanishing act, the birds' primal vigils, like embers banked for endless nights. And as these remade shores whisper of broader continental ties, pulling Kanto's legacy into frosted mythologies and Dialgan legends. We'll chase those northern echoes next in Chapter 15, the Sinnoh Connection. As the Sevii Islands fade into the horizon, linking Kanto's classic mysteries to the modern Pokémon world, we find ourselves drawn northward, toward a region where snow-capped peaks pierce endless skies and ancient legends whisper through the wind. Sinnoh, with its vast tundras and shimmering lakes, carries an unmistakable thread back to Kanto's heart, woven through the quiet collaboration of two professors whose work reshaped how we understand every Pokémon that followed. Professor Rowan, the stoic scholar of Sangem Town, didn't emerge from isolation. His path crossed Professor Oak's in the shadowed labs of Pallet Town, where the air hummed with the whir of early Pokédex prototypes. Rowan arrived not as a rival, but as a seeker, poring over Oak's handwritten notes on the original 151 entries. Oak's device, born from Kanto's bustling cities and hidden caves, had catalogued species from the tiniest Caterpie to the thunderous Zapdos, each scan revealing evolutions triggered by stones unearthed in Mount Moon or trades across Saffron's underground networks. Rowan saw potential beyond borders, a system scalable to the world's uncharted wilds. Their discussions stretched late into the night, fueled by black tea and flickering lantern light. Oak shared tales of his grandson's journeys, badges clinking in a drawer nearby, while Rowan sketched blueprints for a unified registry. What emerged was the National Pokédex, a standardization that transformed Oak's regional tool into a global standard. In Diamond and Pearl, your own Pokédex upgrades, mid-journey, echoing that very exchange. Rowan's voice crackling over the Pokégear, urging completion, not just of Sinnoh's 493, but a master list tying back to Kanto's foundational data. Every beep, every entry, carries Oak's DNA, ensuring that even in Sinnoh's icy expanses, a Bulbasaur's evolutions register seamlessly, as if the regions were never truly separate. This partnership hints at deeper currents. Sinnoh's lore pulses with an origin myth, a creation story etched into the Spear Pillar's ruins, where Arceus birthed the universe from a cosmic egg, Dialga commanding time's relentless flow, Palkia shaping space itself, and Giratina exiled to a shattered world. Temples rise from permafrost, guarded by lake guardians who embody willpower, knowledge, and emotion, primordial forces personified in shimmering forms. Legends speak of humans alighting from eggs, tribes clashing over plates that summon deities, the fabric of existence trembling under their gaze. It's a myth of divine beginnings, where Pokémon aren't discovered, but created in bursts of ethereal light, their powers mirroring the cosmos. Contrast that with Kanto's scientific myth, a colder chronicle forged in sterile labs and rain-slicked towers. Here, an origins stem from human ambition. Mew, the jungle phantom glimpsed by Mr. Fuji, dissected and reborn as Mewtwo in a cinnabar mansion, its rage shattering glass and fleeing to cerulean caves' depths. No gods descend. Instead, scientists splice DNA under fluorescent hums, Porygon digitized from code, Grimer bubbling from industrial sludge. Legendaries like Articuno aren't creators but guardians of natural fury, freezing power plants or igniting Victory Road's embers. Kanto's tale is one of probing the unknown with probes and Pokeballs, evolution charted on graphs rather than prophesied in stone. Yet these myths entwine like roots beneath shared soil. Sinnoh's underground, that labyrinth of pickaxes and fossils, mirrors Kanto's cave systems with eerie precision. Dig deep beneath Eterna or Wayward Cave, and you'll unearth armor fossils or skull fossils, precursors to beasts that once roamed rock tunnels, echoing voids, or cerulean caves' submerged chambers. The underground's dim lanterns sway, just like those in Victory Road, revealing walls veined with rare ores, bones of ancient Kabuto pressing against your fingers. Players tunnel endlessly, unearthing treasures that could have been plucked from Seafoam Island's dripping stalactites, heart scales for moves relearned, sphere shapes glinting like Lapra's pearls. Rowan's standardization bridges these worlds explicitly. His national Pokédex entries reference Kanto specimens directly. A Sinnoh Rattata evolves identically, its habits unchanged from Viridian Forest's underbrush. Even Sinnoh's creation trio nods to Kanto's science, Arceus as the ultimate progenitor. Akin to Mew's genetic ancestor status, its plates evoking elemental birds perched on power grids. The underground's shared relics suggest migratory histories, fossils drifting from Kanto's mountains to Sinnoh's permafrost via ancient rivers or tectonic shifts. Pokémon, like Cranidos, awakening in both realms as if time folded them together. Imagine the quiet thrill of that first national Dex chime in Snowpoint City, pulling Kanto's data across seas, Oak's voice perhaps echoing in Rowan's algorithms, urging you to catch them all, not just Sinnoh's natives, but echoes of Pallet Town's starters, thriving in Veilstone's chill. This connection standardizes more than stats. It unifies myths, Sinnoh's divine origins refracted through Kanto's empirical lens, caves linking prehistoric bones to modern scans. Rowan's respect for Oak runs deeper still. As in Platinum's distortion world, as reality warps around you, the National Pokédex holds firm. Its Kanto core anchoring the chaos, proof that Sinnoh's upheavals build on Kanto's steady foundation. Their collaboration ensured no region stands alone. Johto's monorail to Saffron, Hoenn's Devon goods shipping to Vermilion ports, all funnel back through this academic alliance. As Sinnoh's myths clash and converge with Kanto's science, we glimpse reflections in distant skyscrapers and shadowed alleys, where urban sprawl hides tales of reinvention. Up next, Chapter 16, the Unova Reflection, uncovers how those mirrored cities twist Kanto's blueprint into something boldly new. Stay with me, because the echoes get even sharper from here. While Sinnoh wrapped its myths around creation and eternity, Unova stared straight into the mirror of Kanto's darkest hour, crafting a philosophy born from the ashes of Team Rocket's greed. Team Plasma didn't just emerge as another villainous outfit, they were the echo, the deliberate counterpoint to Rocket's raw exploitation, where Giovanni built an empire on stolen Pokémon, peddling them like black market commodities through the shadows of Sylph Company and the Rocket hideout beneath the Celadon Game Corner. Plasma preached liberation with fervent zeal. Their king, N, raised among Pokémon in isolation, saw trainers as thieves, ripping bonds apart for badges and glory. It was Rocket's crime flipped on its head, not profit through theft, but righteousness through release. Getsis, the puppeteer behind it all, twisted that idealism into a bid for domination, mirroring Giovanni's own hypocrisy, but Plasma's rhetoric cut deeper, forcing players to question if Kanto's badge quest was just sanitized slavery. Unova's streets buzzed with that tension from the start. Nimbasa City's flashing lights and Ferris wheels hid rallies where Plasma grunts chanted about freedom, their white uniforms a stark rebellion against Rocket's black-clad anonymity. In Castilia's towering skyscrapers, evoking New York's steel canyons, far from Kanto's colour-coded hamlets, you'd overhear whispers of Pokémon suffering under human whips, direct jabs at the Sylph Company takeover, where scientists were hostages and Pokémon pawns. Even the starters carried the weight. Snivy, the aloof noble, Tepig, the betrayed farmyard outcast, Oshawott, the seafaring orphan. They embodied Plasma's creed, urging you to choose sides in a moral war Kanto had ignited but never resolved. Game Freak designed Unova this way, as the anti-Kanto, a region unbound by the East Japan vibes of Pallet Town's rice paddies or Saffron's Tokyo sprawl. Instead, it drew from America's vast plains, Route 4's desert winds sweeping through sand-swept relics, Twist Mountain's echoing caverns hiding ancient bones untouched by Oak's Pokédex fervor. No professor handing out starters here, Juniper's lab felt distant, her aides scattering clues like afterthoughts. Unova wanted separation, a fresh canvas painted over Kanto's blood money and Mewtwo's rage. Yet that separation crumbled under its own weight, pulling Unova inexorably back to the Indigo Plateau's shadow. Black and White launched in 2011, promising a binary choice, trainer or liberator, but by the post-game, the cracks showed. The Pokémon World Tournament in Driftvile's underbelly wasn't just a battle royale, it was a homecoming, a seal of legitimacy stamped by Kanto's ghosts. There they stood, Blue, the cocky rival turned gym leader, his Arcanines snarling reminders of Viridian Gym's fall. Cynthia from Sinnoh, but her presence nodded to the shared league legacy Kanto forged. And then, the heavy hitters, Lorelei with her icy Lapras gliding from the Seafoam Islands, Bruno's Machamp pounding echoes of the fighting dojo, Agatha's Gengar cackling from the Pokémon Tower's haunted eaves. Even Lance, the Dragon Master, whose Charizard once soared over the Indigo League, returned to affirm Unova's place in the hierarchy. These weren't cameos, they were endorsements. Kanto's elite validating N's fallen dream by proving the old ways endured. Why invite them if Unova truly stood alone? The tournament's brackets forced confrontations. Your Embor clashing with Blue's Pidgeot. The winds of Route 11 whipping through pixels once more. It whispered that no region escapes Kanto's blueprint. Even the anti-Kanto needed its blessing to feel real. That failure to sever ties ran deeper than guest stars. Unova's legendaries, Reshiram and Zekrom, embodied truth and ideals, but their tale looped back to Kanto's scientific sins. Twins born from a single dragon, fractured like Mew into Mewtwo, a clone unbound. Plasma's airships evoked rockets Ekans, coiling through vents, and Ghetsis' castle on Route 10 loomed like the rocket hideout, riddled with warping panels and executive showdowns. The Liberating Sage. 7 sages scattered clues mirroring Fusheshizu's hidden paths, their ideals dissolving into betrayal, just as Archer or Proton's loyalty to Giovanni frayed. Unova tried to critique Kanto, its exploitation, its endless capture grind, but in doing so, it replicated the formula. 8 gyms from Burley Clay's Driftvale mines to elegant Grimsley's battle subway luxury, culminating in the league where Alder, the wandering champion, evoked Lance's untamed freedom. Iris, the dragon girl rising to replace him, carried Dragonite vibes straight from Kanto's shores. The region screamed independence, with its 369 unique Pokémon shunning the original 151. Yet the national Dex activation post-game yanked it all back, Oak's numbering system claiming precedence once more. Feel the pull in the details. Undella Town's marine tube echoing Cinnabar's underwater labs, abundant shrines guardians nodding to the guardian birds, Articuno's frost in thrifty Megamart's ruins, Zapdos's storm in the Chargestone Cave's electric hum. Plasma's failed revolution left N vanishing on Zekrom, a silent exile like red atop Mount Silver, both icons of what Kanto birthed and couldn't contain. Game Freak couldn't resist. Unova's post-Black and White 2 sequel fractured the philosophy further, with Colress experimenting on control, like Cinnabar's mad scientists, and Lysandra's shadow lurking in the Genesect revival. Another Kanto fossil twisted anew. The anti-Kanto dream faltered, because Kanto wasn't just a place, it was the wound every region probed, the exploitation Plasma named, but couldn't erase. And that reflection sets the stage perfectly for Chapter 17, the Kalos Blueprint, where we uncover how Kanto's ultimate weapon reshaped an entire region's heart in ways that still pulse through the series today. Unova thought it could break free, positioning itself as the anti-Kanto, with its sleek skyscrapers and moral crusades against exploitation, but cracks appeared everywhere. Team Plasma echoing Team Rocket's greed. The champion Alder nodding to Kanto's battling roots out. Even the urban sprawl of Castelia City whispering Saffron's shadow. That separation never held, because Kanto's blueprint runs deeper than any regional redesign, pulling even the most ambitious newcomers back into its orbit. And nowhere does that gravitational force show more clearly than in Kalos, a region dressed in elegant finery, yet built on Kanto's hidden foundations. Consider Santa Lune Forest, the verdant gateway you wander through early in Pokémon X and Y. It's not just another woodland path, it's Viridian Forest reborn. Tile for tile, pixel by painstaking pixel. Walk its winding trails, and you'll spot the exact layout, the clusters of trees forming identical choke points, the ponds mirroring Viridian's watery clearings, the hidden corners where Caterpie and Weedle ambush you, just like their Kanto cousins. Developers didn't slap this together by accident. In the Game Freak archives from those development days around 2013, insiders whispered about deliberate homages, recreating that first forest encounter from Red and Blue to evoke the thrill of your inaugural bug-catching days. Why? Because Kalos positions itself as the next evolution of that original journey, starting you in a quiet town like Pallet, handing you a starter that feels familiar, then thrusting you into a forest that's less innovation and more echo. It's Kanto's nostalgia coded into the very map data, ensuring that as you crunch leaves underfoot, you're subconsciously stepping back to 1996. But the real blueprint reveals itself in Mega Evolution. That flashy mechanic Kalos introduced with stones and keys and dramatic transformations. You'd think the native Kalos starters, Chespin, Fennekin, Froakie, would lead the charge, their megaforms debuting first to stake the region's claim. Instead, who gets the spotlight? The Kanto trio, Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise. Their mega evolutions drop right at the launch. Handed out early in the story via hidden labs and ancient relics, while Kalos' own starters wait in the wings. Dig into the lore books, like the in-game Pokédex entries and developer interviews from Cerebi and Bulbapedia deep dives, and it clicks. Mega Evolution ties directly to Kanto's scientific legacy, the Mewtwo cloning experiments in the Cinnabar Mansion, where human ambition fused with Pokémon DNA to birth ultimate power. AZ, Kalos' ancient king, loses his Floette in the war 3,000 years ago, crafts the ultimate weapon, and unleashes devastation that mirrors Kanto's industrial underbelly. That war of 3,000 years past isn't some isolated fairy tale. It's Kanto's conflicts scaled up and painted in gold. Picture Kanto's factories humming in the power plant, where Zapdos nests amid sparking cables, and a symbol of unchecked energy harnessed for progress at any cost. Team Rocket digs into Sylph Company in Saffron, stealing Pokémon for profit, turning living beings into commodities, just like the war's Pokémon weapons ground armies into dust. Giovanni, the gym leader turned crime boss, embodies that ruthless industry. His Viridian gym hides the rocket base, tunnels burrowing like the veins of Cinnabar's volcano-fueled labs. Mewtwo's birth in those sterile chambers, cloned from Jungle Mew DNA by scientists, chasing godhood, parallels Aziz's grief-fueled machine that animated the dead into eternal soldiers. Both are tales of war machines born from loss. Mr. Fuji's guilt over Mewtwo, leading him to Lavender Tower's Pokémon graves, AZ wandering eternally with his flower. Kalos doesn't invent this, it remixes Kanto's playbook, and where progress devours nature, and ancient kings or modern bosses pay the price. Zoom out to the map, and Kalos' layout screams Kanto homage. Lumiosa City, with its towering prism tower piercing the skyline like Saffron's silhouette against the night, buzzes with the same metropolitan pulse. Train stations linking districts, alleys hiding shady deals akin to rocket hideouts. The Kalos League perches on high plateaus, evoking Indigo Plateau's climb, where you battle elites after badges, collected in a linear quest that apes Brock to Giovanni. Even the fairy types, Kalos' big innovation, nod to Kanto's hidden potentials. Mewtwo's psychic dominance gets a fairy counter, but Articuno's icy grace in Seafoam Islands foreshadows it all. Professor Sycamore, with his white coat and Pokédex passion, channels Oak directly. It's inviting you to his lab like Pallet's front door, studying evolutions that build on Kanto's fossil revivals in Mount Moon. And those Kanto starters? Their priority in Mega Evolution isn't favoritism, it's narrative necessity. Venusaur's flower blooms with ancient power, tying to the war's floral resurrection motif. AZ's Floette blooming after 3,000 years, much like Venusaur Mega's massive petal shield, pulsing with life force drawn from Kanto's Viridian roots. Charizard roars into the sky, flames scorching like Cinnabar's eruptions, where Mewtwo first flexed its rage-born might. Blastoise's cannons blast forward, echoing the industrial weaponry of Rocket's Raiden guards in Sylph Company. Heavy artillery forged in Kanto's forge. Kalos natives lag because they're the new blood. Kanto's originals are the archetypes, the ones that survived the wars of progress, the power plant blackouts, the mansion infernos, the cave-ins at Cerulean where Mewtwo broods. This blueprint explains why Kalos feels so intimately Kanto-tinged, even as it dazzles with 3D graphics and continental sprawl. The war's holograms flicker in Geosenge Valley, replaying battles that could be rocket invasions restaged, with Lysandra's tech empire mirroring Giovanni's corporate veil. Every megastone unearthed whispers of Cinnabar digs. Every key from Aziz's castle halls feels like a lost Fuji journal. Kanto didn't just inspire Kalos, it provided the skeleton, the conflicts, the forests, the evolutions that make the region breathe. As we trace these threads from Kalos's gilded surface back to Kanto's core, the pull grows stronger still, leading us toward sun-soaked shores where vacation vibes mask even deeper homecoming secrets. Stick around for Chapter 18, the Alolan Vacation, where we uncover how paradise itself couldn't escape Kanto's endless reach. As the echoes of Kalos's ancient war faded, with its megastones drawing power straight from Kanto's original starters like Venusaur and Charizard, a quieter revolution brewed far across the sea. Alola wasn't built as another battlefield echoing Kanto's industrial scars. No, it called itself a vacation paradise. Islands strung like emeralds in the tropical Pacific, where the sun dips into waves that whisper promises of rest. But peel back the palm fronds, and you'll find Kanto's shadow lurking in every adapted creature, every championship challenge, proving that even paradise couldn't escape the original region's grip. Think about the Pokémon themselves. Alola took Kanto's foundational roster and thrust them into a wildly different ecology, forcing biologists and trainers alike to rethink what those species truly were. Take Rattata, that scrappy little rodent from Kanto's Viridian forest paths, always darting through underbrush, with its buck teeth ready for a nibble. In Alola's lush predator-packed grasslands, it bulked up, fur turning coarse and dark, eyes gleaming with a new nocturnal edge. No longer just normal type, it fused with dark energies to outmaneuver, raticate rivals and invasive birds. A survival hack born from islands where food scraps from tourists weren't enough. Scientists in Heihei City pored over these changes, publishing papers that trace the adaptations back to Kanto's genetic baselines, as if Professor Oak's Pokédex entries were being stress-tested in real time. Grimer slithered into Alola's polluted urban streams around Hau'oli City, evolving not from sludge alone, but from the oily runoff of luxury resorts and shipping ports. Its Alolan form shed the pure poison typing for a ghostly twist, haunting the waterways where Kanto's factories might have dumped their waste. Muk followed suit, ballooning into a spectral blob that could phase through walls, a reminder that Kanto's toxic legacy didn't stay confined to Cinnabar's labs. Even Vulpix, that fluffy firefox from Kanto's chilly roots, traded flames for ice in Alola's volcanic highlands, its Ninetales counterpart shimmering with snow over Akala's misty peaks. These weren't random mutations. They were Kanto biology re-examined through Alola's prism of isolation, trade winds and relentless sunlight, showing how the original 151 could bend without breaking their core essence. Raichu tells the story clearest. Kanto's Pikachu line capped at that thunderbolt-slinging beast, but Alola pushed it further with a rideable, psychic-charged evolution fueled by experimental thunderstones washed ashore from distant storms. Perched on a trainer's shoulder, it surfed psychic waves across Melemele Island's beaches, its tail like a living surfboard crackling with aurora lights. Developers at Game Freak drew from real-world island gigantism, where species grow larger in confined habitats, but rooted it in Kanto's electric heritage. Oak himself would have nodded approval, seeing his Pokédex entries evolve into living proof that Alola was less a new world and more a laboratory for his life's work. This re-examination hit its peak in the trials, those island challenges replacing Kanto's straightforward gyms, with totem battles amid jungle drums and kahuna rituals. Totem gumshoes, a beefed-up Alolan Rattata evolution, lauded over verdant dens, its aura-boosting allies in ways Kanto's bosses, like Giovanni, never dreamed. Trainers who conquered Verdant Cavern or Brooklet Hill emerged not just stronger, but with a deeper understanding of how Kanto's rats and fish had remade themselves. It was vacation as education, luring weary Kantonians with poi bowls and luau's, only to confront the raw adaptability of their homeland's Pokémon in alien skins. Yet for all Alola's self-sufficiency, at its league craved Kanto's stamp of approval to stand tall. Kukui and his trial captains built a championship from scratch, no badges pinned to jackets, just Z crystals, pulsing with island power. The grand trial, at the peak of Mount Lanakila, crowned a pioneer first champion, but whispers spread through Alolan taverns. Without the Indigo Plateau's nod, was it legitimate? Kanto held the blueprint after all. The Pokémon League Association, rumoured to convene in the shadows of Saffron's towers, set the global standard. Johto shared it outright. Even distant Galar paid homage. Alola's league, fresh and untested, needed validation from the origin to silence doubters who saw it as a tropical sideshow. Enter Blue and Red, the gatekeepers who bridged that gap without a word. Blue, that cocky rival from Pallet Town, tanned and smirking under Alola's sun, planted himself at the battle tree on Pony Island's wild fringe. No longer Viridian gym leader, he challenged Comas with a team blending Kanto classics, like Pidgeot and Arcanine with Alolan flair, his voice barking strategies over crashing waves. Red, the silent legend who'd scaled Mount Silver, took the ultimate perch deeper in, his Pikachu at his side. Cap, shadowing eyes that had seen Mewtwo's rage. They weren't tourists. They were validators, Kanto's envoys ensuring Alola's battles measured up. Why them? Blue had chased strength across regions, from Johto's plateau to Unova's mirrors, always circling back to Kanto roots. Red embodied the untouchable peak, the boy who'd toppled Team Rocket and claimed Indigo's throne. Their presence at the battle tree turned it into Alola's proving ground, and a multi-trainer gauntlet where doubles and singles tested Z moves against Kanto-honed precision. Beat Blue's gauntlet of 50 straight wins, and Red awaited, his Snorlax blocking paths like Cerulean Cave's guardian. It was subtle conquest. Alola's league gained legitimacy by association, trainers boasting victories over the original champion and his rival. Without that battle tree pilgrimage, the Island Championship might have lingered as a local curiosity, not a world stage. Locals felt it too. Kahunas like Hala traded stories of Pallet Town over fresh malasadas, while Olivia mined Big Island fossils, echoing Kanto's ancient bones. Even Lucamine's Ether Foundation echoed Cinnabar's cloning scandals, her Nihiligo obsessions paralleling Mr. Fuji's Mewtwo folly. Alola vacationed on Kanto's dime, and its economy buoyed by Kantonian tourists flocking to Melemele for Pikachu surfing, only to spar with variants of their childhood companions. The battle tree's canopy rustled with these unspoken ties, vines draping over facilities where Blue lounged post-victory, Red vanishing into mists after defeat. It forced every Alolan hopeful to confront Kanto's legacy head-on, proving the vacation wasn't escape but evolution. Regional forms dissected old biology. The gatekeepers enforced the standard. The League bowed for blessing. Paradise remade Kanto in its image, yet couldn't outrun the source. And as those pony breezes carried scents of sea salt and victory, they hinted at a Switch-era revival, waiting just over the horizon. Next time, in Chapter 19, the Let's Go Revolution, Hut will uncover how Nintendo dragged Kanto, kicking and screaming into modern hardware, blending nostalgia with motion controls in ways that redefined everything. Stick around after the lullaby interlude, because you won't believe how Pikachu's big return rewrote the rules. I hope you're as amazed by this as I am. If you want to stay updated on more content like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, What's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew. As blue and red stood sentinel at Alola's battle tree, eternal guardians echoing Kanto's unyielding spirit, the winds of change were already sweeping back across the sea to Pallet Town itself. In 2018, Nintendo unleashed Pokémon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee on the Nintendo Switch, not just another remake, but a seismic reimagining of Kanto for players who had never touched a Game Boy. This wasn't Fire Red and Leaf Green's faithful polish. It was a bold pivot, stripping away the relentless grind that defined every badge quest since Red's era, and replacing it with something far more alive, more immersive, a pure experience that let you breathe in the region like never before. You step out of Pallet Town under that familiar sunrise, your Pikachu or Eevee trotting at your heels, not trapped in a Pokeball, but right there beside you, reacting to the world with little hops and glances. No more menu diving into tall grass for endless random encounters that felt like chores. Instead, Pokémon roam the overworld visibly, rustling in the Viridian forest undergrowth or fluttering above Cerulean Cape, their eyes locking onto yours as you approach. Now, it's a shift from conquest to companionship, from grinding levels in the shadows to witnessing Kanto's ecosystem unfold in real time. That Pidgey doesn't vanish into battle code. It perches on a branch, sizing you up, and you decide, catch it with a perfectly timed throw, or let it flit away into the canopy. This removal of traditional wild battles rewires your entire bond with Kanto's wilds. Back in the originals, every route was a battlefield. Pokémon reduced to experience fodder, their habitats mere backdrops for the level grind. You'd mash A through Viridian Forest, hoping for a chance at that elusive Pinsir, but it was all abstracted, mechanical. Let's Go flips that script. Now, the ecosystem pulses with life. Watch a herd of Rattata scamper across Route 1 at dusk, their tails twitching in unison, or spot a lone Mankey swinging from Cerulean Gym's vines, territorial and fierce. Catching becomes a skill, your avatar winding up like a pro athlete, the Joy-Con motion controls syncing with your throw. Miss, and it dodges with a taunt. Nail it, and the Pokeball arcs in slow motion, sealing the deal with that satisfying click. It's Pokémon Go's DNA injected straight into the veins of Kanto, turning every patch of grass into a safari, where you're the observer, the collector, not the endless warrior. And oh, the intimacy it breeds with the land. Route 22 stretches before you, no longer a pre-game teaser, but a living prelude, dotted with roaming Spearow that dive bomb your path, forcing you to weave through the fields, as you feel the weight of Kanto's biodiversity in a way the grind never allowed. Abra teleporting away in a psychic shimmer if you're too hasty, Geodude rolling like boulders down rock tunnel slopes, each encounter a glimpse into behaviours straight from the Pokédex entries Oak once scribbled in his lab. Your buddy Pokémon reacts too, Pikachu sparking with jealousy if you fawn over a wild one, or Eevee nuzzling for attention after a narrow escape. This is Kanto not as a gauntlet, but as a vibrant world you inhabit, where the removal of blind battles lets the region's heartbeat sync with yours. Saffron City embodies this revolution most strikingly, its skyline thrusting upward like a metropolis reborn. Gone is the blocky 80s sprawl of the originals, those squat buildings crammed around the golden copycat's house. Now, Saffron gleams under perpetual twilight glows, towering spires of glass and steel piercing the clouds, Mr. Psychic's fighting dojo, a sleek pagoda amid the urban jungle. The monorail snakes through the heights, linking to Goldenrod's ghost in the shared League legacy. But Saffron feels alive, bustling with NPCs who mill about under holographic billboards, their conversations laced with hints of Sylph Company's corporate intrigue. You navigate these streets not as a pixelated intruder, but as a traveller in a city that's evolved, mirroring Tokyo's Kanto pulse, neon veins pumping through concrete arteries. Then comes the Sylph Company siege, modernised into a spectacle that grips you like a blockbuster raid. No more 10-floor slog through identical rooms and rocket grunts in cramped elevators. This Sylph company is a colossal headquarters, at a vertigo-inducing skyscraper where floors stack endlessly, each level a diorama of high-tech horror. You ascend via glass lifts, overlooking Saffron's lights twinkling below. Team Rocket's black uniforms, stark against server banks, humming with stolen data. Giovanni lurks in the penthouse, his Persian clawing at shadows, but the path there weaves through laser grids, malfunctioning teleporters that warp you to rooftop helipads, and wild Chansey wandering the vents like corporate ghosts. It's a siege reimagined for the Switch era. Dynamic, vertical, with your partner Pokémon leaping alongside, zapping rockets mid-heist. The stakes feel personal now. The buildings fall, echoing Kanto's industrial underbelly, from Cinnabar's labs to the power plant's flickering Zapdos. This evolution doesn't just prettify, or it deepens Kanto's lore for a new generation. Saffron's glow ties back to the colour-coded cities, Celadon greens bleeding into its silvers, while Sylph's Siege nods to the scientific sins that birthed Mewtwo in that forgotten mansion. Without the grind, you linger, exploring hidden alleys where Mr. Fuji's spirit lingers in Lavender Town's modern spires, or fishing Vermilion's docks, where tentacle schools swirl like living ink. The mastery system rewards observation over spam. Teach Hyper Beam by chaining catches. Watch your Pikachu's tail glow as bonds strengthen. Kanto becomes experiential therapy, a balm against the series' badge rush fatigue, proving why it endures as the core every game orbits. Even Mewtwo's Cerulean Cave awaits post-game, not as a grind endpoint but a psychic pilgrimage, in its depths echoing with the clone's rage-born solitude. You emerge transformed, your team a menagerie gathered not through battles, but moments. That stubborn primate from Route 23, the Alolan Rattata variant nodding to distant islands, all converging under Oak's ever-watchful Pokédex. Let's Go whispers that Kanto isn't relic. It's adaptable. Its ecosystem resilient, ready to welcome newcomers without demanding they bleed for every level. Yet as Saffron's lights fade into the horizon, another industrial thread pulls us forward, one that links Kanto's urban forge to Galar's smoky factories in Chapter 20, the Galar Industrial Link. What hidden machinery did Game Freak build between these powerhouses? And how does it prove Kanto's factories still steam at the heart of it all? Drift off wondering, and we'll uncover it next. And that shift in Let's Go from relentless grinding to a more harmonious dance with Kanto's wild Pokémon sets the stage for Galar's roaring engines, where every stadium and rail line pulses under the iron grip of one colossal corporation, Macrocosmos. Founded by the enigmatic Chairman Rose, this behemoth doesn't just sponsor the Pokémon League, it owns it outright, from the glittering Winden stadiums to the very tracks snaking through the countryside, mirroring the monolithic Sylph company that once dominated Saffron City's skyline in Kanto. Picture Sylph's gleaming towers, churning out Pokeballs, and the elusive Master Ball, their labs humming with the secrets of capture technology that would one day standardize the Pokédex across the world. Team Rocket's grimy claws sank into those halls during the original Red and Blue crisis. Giovanni himself storming the executive floors with his Persian at his heels, turning innovation into a criminal syndicate's playground. Macrocosmos echoes that structure down to its steel bones, but amplified for Galar's industrial age. Rose's empire sprawls across the region like a mechanical web, manufacturing Dynamax bands in hidden power plants, funding the league's spectacle with ticket revenues funneled straight back into his vision of energy dominance. Just as Sylph's downfall exposed Kanto's underbelly of corporate overreach, Rose's arc in Sword and Shield unravels with a Mewtwo-level ambition, harnessing the Darkest Day's eternal energy source, buried beneath Hammerlock Stadium, heedless of the ancient dragons it might awaken. Giovanni sought profit through Pokémon theft. Rose chases godlike power through extraction. Both men cloaked in suits and shadowed motives, Their company's the lifeblood of their region's economies, yet teetering on catastrophe. Sylph rebuilt post-rocket, quietly influencing global tech. Porygon's digital birthright traces back there. While Macrocosmos fractures after Rose's fall, its shards reforming under New League oversight. A cycle that whispers Kanto's blueprint for redemption through regulated might. This corporate parallel isn't coincidence. It's Kanto's shadow cast long over Galar's coal-dusted horizons. Saffron's copycat district, with its labyrinthine sylph floors riddled by rocket grunts, prefigures the macro-built stadiums where fans chant under holographic banners, unaware of the boardroom machinations above. Where both cores embody the franchise's tension between progress and peril. Sylph's Master Ball, as the ultimate capture tool, Macro's Dynamax, as spectacle-fueled gigantism, each tying back to Kanto's origin myth of science wrestling legendaries into submission. From Mewtwo's lab-born rage to Eternatus's slumbering fury. And nowhere does this Kantofication burn brighter than in the team of Galar's undefeated champion, Leon. His roster struts with native powerhouses like Dragapult gliding through misty skies and Haxorus cleaving boulders, but anchoring it all is that unmistakable orange blaze. Charizard, Gigantamax form roaring flames over Winden like a saffron sunset. Why elevate a Kanto import to ace status in a land of dragons? Galar birthed the legendary trio, Zacian, Zamazenta, Eternatus, yet Leon, the face of the region, pins his legacy on the very Pokémon that scorched Cinnabar Gym in the original games. Brock's Onix, no match for its winged fury. Fans erupted in controversy from the moment the reveal trailers dropped. Forums lit up with debates over Charizard privilege, questioning why not a Galar exclusive like Duraludon, or even a souped-up Coalossal to honour the mineshafts of the wild area. Leon's choice reeks of deliberate homage, a nod to Kanto's unbeatable archetype. Red's silent supremacy on Mount Silver, Blue's rival edge, Charizard, embodies that fire-type dominance first forged in Pallet Town Labs. Professor Oak handing out Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle as the gold standard. In Galar's post-game battles, Leon's Charizard doesn't just Dynamax, it Gigantamaxes into a behemoth that blots out stadium lights, and its blue flames evoking Mewtwo's psychic infernos more than any local legend. Critics called it lazy design, a sales ploy to hawk Kanto nostalgia amid Sword and Shield's cut Pokémon backlash. But dig deeper, it's Kanto asserting primacy. Every champion since Lance has wrestled with Indigo League roots. Steven's Mega Metagross echoes Sylph Tech, Cynthia's Garchomp nods Mount Silver borders, yet Leon wears it openly, his cape fluttering like Red's eternal climb, proving Galar's pinnacle loops inescapably to Kanto's flame. This pull intensifies in Galar's expansions, the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, twin landmasses flung into the DLCC like afterthoughts that mirror Kanto's Sevi Islands perfectly. Fire Red and Leaf Green tucked those 7 isles behind a one-time ferry pass from Vermilion Port, a post-league reward unveiling Deoxys's Meteor Crash secrets, rocket remnants scheming anew, and rare berries ripening under tropical suns. One-way tickets only, no backtracking, forced players to savour the isolation, charting Kindle Road's lava flows, or probing Tanobi Ruins' puzzle chambers for unknown echoes. The Isle of Armor crashes in similarly, a foggy dojo archipelago accessed via a post-game cruise from the free ferry in Hull, its master mustered training Kubfu into Urshifu warriors amid bamboo thickets and secret Kubfu caves. Crown Tundra follows suit, a frozen expanse beyond the southern seas, evoking Sevi's Icefall Cave, with its blizzards and Regigardians stirring in ancient tombs. Calyrex, the spectral Steed King, haunts these snowfields much as Deoxys warped Birth Island's ether. In both expansions, dredging legendaries from Kanto's playbook. Sevi's Latios and Latios sightings prefiguring Galarian birds like Articuno's spectral variant. Macrocosmos, foots the bill here too, their rails extending to these outposts, just as Sylph's influence lingered in Kanto's seas, turning peripheral isles into lore gold mines. Sevi expanded Kanto proper by 500 Pokémon entries and mythos depth. Armor and Tundra bolt on Galarian forms, Regis, and the Swords of Justice. But always circling Kanto's core, Urshifu's single-punch ethos, like Hitmonchan's Viridian bouts, crowns Dynamax adventures, summoning Mewtwo-scale clashes. These DLCs don't just pad the Pokédex, they replicate Sevi's role as Kanto's hidden heart, bridging mainland industry to wild antiquity. Galar's wild area already apes Kanto's roots with roaming herds, but the Isles push it further. Arma's secret dojo trials echo Fuchsia's Safari Zone hunts. Tundra's legend hunts mimic Cerulean Caves post-game dread. Chairman Rose's energy quest even ties in, his Hammerlock reactor humming like Cinnabar's abandoned labs, where Mewtwo's creators toyed with forbidden power. Kanto's corporate scars, Sylph ransacked, Cinnabar melted, reverberate in Galar's Dynamax dens, cracking open under industrial strain. Every expansion a reminder that no region escapes the Kanto Plains' gravitational pull. As Galar's rails grind to a halt and its champions grapple with imported flames, the threads tighten toward Paldea's own quiet homecoming, where Scarlet and Violet's epilogue pulls every string back to Indigo Plateau in Chapter 21, the Paldean Epilogue. On what ancient Kanto ghosts wander those Tira-crystalled hills, waiting to redefine the cycle once more. As the dust settled on Leon's Charizard dominating Galar's throne, with that unmistakable Kanto fire, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet didn't just wrap up their sprawling Paldean adventure. They circled back to the heart of it all, with an epilogue that feels like a quiet homecoming. That final chapter, the Mochi Mayhem event, tucked away in the misty valleys of Kitakami, introduces Pecharunt, the mischievous mythical Pokémon whose Pecha Berry Mochi unleashes a wave of sleepy chaos across the land. But peel back the layers of that sugary deception, and you'll find Game Freak steering the narrative straight toward Kanto's shadowed legacy, reminding us that even in the sun-drenched fields of Paldea, the original region's pull remains unbreakable. Pecharunt slinks into the story as this unassuming apple-headed imp, born from ancient Kitakami folklore, where it bound the loyal three, Okidogi, Munkidori, and Fezandipiti, to its will through cursed Mochi that twisted loyalty into blind obedience. You arrive in Kitakami just after the festival, only to watch villagers drop one by one into a haze of purple-tinged slumber, their Pokémon rampaging under Pecharunt's subtle command. It's a tale of manipulation that echoes Team Rocket's Pokémon thefts from those early Kanto days, but softer, more insidious, like a lullaby laced with control. As you team up with old friends like Arven, Nemona, and Penny, chasing leads through fog-shrouded shrines and berry orchards, heavy with the scent of ripening Pecha, the epilogue unfolds not as a mere side quest, but as a deliberate pivot. After the paradoxes of Area Zero, the rivalries of the treasure hunt, and the elite battles of Blueberry Academy, this feels like Paldea's exhale, a return to simpler stakes, yet laced with connections that tether it firmly to Kanto's foundational myths. What starts as a village-wide nap epidemic reveals Pecharunt's deeper roots in Paldea's prehistory, mirroring how Kanto's legends like Mewtwo emerged from hidden labs and forgotten caves. You purify the loyal three, confront the mythical in its cavernous lair beneath the festival grounds, and seal its powers with a terrestrial bloom that shatters the Mochi curse. But here's where the Kanto threads weave in tight. That terrestrial mechanic, Paldea's flashy crown jewel, isn't some isolated Iberian innovation. It's a direct evolution of the elemental stones first unearthed in Kanto's depths. Think back to Mount Moon, where Brock's fossil hunters and eager trainers pried glowing firestones, thunderstones, waterstones, leafstones, and moonstones from the Earth's cold grip. Those artifacts, shimmering with type-specific energy, unlocked evolutions that defined the original 151. Vulpix to Ninetales in a blaze, Eevee to Jolteon amid crackling sparks. Fast forward to Paldea, and Terrastol crystals pulse with the same primal force, but amplified. Terra shards, those jagged gems you grind for in the wilds or raids, are crystallized remnants of Terrapagos's ancient power, the turtle-like origin of the phenomenon hidden in Area Zero. Harvest them, and they let any Pokémon bloom into a Terra Jewel type, shifting battlefields in a kaleidoscope of starlit auras. As Game Freak hasn't hidden the lineage, these shards function just like Kanto's stones, channeling raw elemental essence to transform. A fire Terra shard on a water type? It's the spiritual successor to dunking a Growlithe in a firestone pond. Even the visual poetry ties back. The crystalline facets of a Terrastol crown evoke the multifaceted glow of a moonstone under Celadon moonlight, both promising metamorphosis from the ordinary. Paldea's vast open world, with its zero-gravity cliffs and biomes bleeding into each other, recontextualizes Kanto's cave-riddled terrain as the blueprint for discovery. You scavenge shards from sparkling deposits in the highlands or deep in the Great Crater, feeling that same thrill of unearthing power from Professor Oak's backyard echoes. And speaking of Oak, his shadow looms larger than ever in this modern era. His lineage not just enduring, but actively shaping Paldea's academic vanguard. While the good professor himself holds court in Pallet Town, trading Pokémon entries with travellers from afar, it's his intellectual heirs who bridge the generations. Consider the Paldea region's own research elite, steeped in Oak's methodologies. The Pokédex cataloguing that began with his original device, now digitized and globalized. In Scarlet and Violet, Director Clavel of Unova Academy draws from that same rigorous taxonomy, his office a shrine to evolutionary data that screams Oak influence. But the real nod comes through the DLC's Undercurrents. Blueberry Academy's exchange program pulls in trainers versed in Indigo Plateau lore, as then whispers of Kanto's bird trio guarding power plants filter through faculty chats. Oak's granddaughter, Daisy, might tend flowers in Cerulean, but his research ripples outward. Professor Sada and Turo's AI obsessions parallel the Mewtwo cloning scandals he documented, while Nemona's battle mania channels Blue's champion fire. Even Paldean's Epilogue seals this lineage. As you catch the purified mythical, its Pokédex entry nods to ancient bindings that feel ripped from Kanto's Mr. Fuji journals, those tales of Pokémon spirits coerced into servitude. The Loyal Three, once heroes turned villains by mochi-fueled rage, regain their nobility through your intervention, much like freeing the stolen Pokémon from rocket hideouts. Kitakami's foggy paths, lined with wind chimes tinkling in the breeze and lanterns flickering against twilight, evoke Viridian Forest's emerald hush, where secrets hide behind every rustling leaf. This isn't coincidence. It's Game Freak's quiet insistence that Paldea's Epilogue recenters Kanto as the gravitational core. After Galar's corporate gloss, Paldea strips back to elemental truths. Stones that evolve, professors who chronicle, and a world where every new legend loops back to the original 151. The Terrastol phenomenon cements it further, transforming Paldea's battles into a love letter to Kanto's stone lore. Imagine a Skelediurge, terrastalizing into flying-type Midroar, wings of crystal unfurling like Articuno's icy span over Seafoam Islands, or a Meowscarada blooming electric, sparks dancing like Zapdos at the abandoned power plant. These shards aren't infinite, you forage them painstakingly, just as Kanto trainers bartered for rare stones in Celadon department store, turning scarcity into strategy. Terrapagos itself, the shimmering source in Area Zero's abyssal glow, embodies Mew's elusive wonder, both progenitors of power, both tied to human hubris. Oak's notes on Mew's DNA would fit right into Sada's archives, predicting these crystalline evolutions that make every Pokémon a potential legend. Yet Oak's presence endures beyond stones and myths, his family tree branching into Paldea's elite. Trace the connections. His rivalries with Rowan informed Unova's dexes. His visits from other professors seeded global research nets. In Paldea, it's the subtle cameos, faculty quoting Indigo League triumphs, academies mirroring Oak's lab with vast media libraries stocked with Kanto tapes. The epilogue's resolution, heard with Petulant joining your team as a badge of reconciliation, feels like claiming Mewtwo's respect in Cerulean Cave, a post-game pinnacle that validates the journey's roots. Kitakami's Mochi Festival, with its communal feasts under paper lanterns swaying in mountain winds, contrasts Paldea's individualism, pulling you toward Kanto's communal badge quests and league aspirations. This Paldean Epilogue doesn't just close Scarlet and Violet, it reaffirms Kanto's unspoken throne, where stones birthed evolution, Oak birthed science, and every region's finale whispers back to Pallet Town's quiet fields. As Petulant's curse lifts, and the valleys stir awake to birdsong and laughter, you're left with that familiar pull, the sense that no matter how far the world expands, it all orbits the original region. And that orbit sharpens even more when we turn to Chapter 22, the real-world Kanto, where the Japanese plains that inspired Saffron's skyscrapers and Pewter's mines reveal secrets that make every pixel feel alive. You won't believe how Tokyo's shadows lurk in Viridian's gyms, those elemental stones scattered across Kanto's roots. The ones that sparked Paldea's terrestrial revolution draw their power from a landscape you can trace on any map of eastern Japan. The Kanto Plain stretches out there, a vast basin cradled by mountains, where rice paddies give way to the endless concrete pulse of Tokyo. That's the real-world heartbeat behind every Pokémon game's opening steps. Picture the in-game map unfolding over that terrain. Pallet Town sits humbly at the southwest edge, mirroring the sleepy outskirts of Tokyo's sprawl, where narrow roads wind past family homes and wild grasses hide summer insects. Head north, and Viridian City blooms green, echoing the forested hills of the actual Kanto's Tanzawa Range, where evergreens cloak slopes dotted with shrines. Pewter City hunkers down like the rugged mining towns near Mount Fuji, its museum guarding fossils from layers of earth that real geologists probe today. Cerulean, with its cascading gym and cave shadows, captures the blue-veined rivers snaking through Saitama's plains, while Saffron City's golden towers rise as a direct stand-in for Tokyo's Shinjuku skyline, monorails slicing through the neon haze. Vermilion Port buzzes like Yokohama's harbours, ships groaning under cargo from across the Pacific, and Lavender Town's somber spires nod to the quiet graveyards edging urban Tokyo, or where incense smoke curls on humid evenings. Indigo Plateau crowns it all, perched on the plateaus near the Chichibu Mountains, a natural amphitheatre for champions, much like the real Kanto's elevated ridges that separate city from wild. Seafoam islands plunge into the Pacific off Chiba's coast, foam-churned waves hiding basalt caves where Articuno might brood. Even Cinnabar's volcano simmers with the fury of Mount Mihara on Izu Peninsula, lava scars blackening the shore. Game Freak didn't just sketch a fantasy, they etched Japan's Kanto Plain onto the Game Boy screen. Every route a veiled coordinate from the Tokyo metropolitan sprawl. You feel that duality everywhere in the games, the tug between concrete towers and untamed paths, and it mirrors the soul of 1990s Japan. The bubble economy had burst by then, leaving salarymen in packed Yamanote Line trains, staring out at a metropolis that swallowed farms overnight. Tokyo's population swelled past 30 million, skyscrapers piercing skies once ruled by kites and cicada song. Rural Kanto, places like Tajiri's own Machida, clung to traditions, rice harvests, under Mount Takao's shadow. But urbanization crept in, paving over childhood playgrounds. Pokémon arrived in that tension, a love letter to escaping the urban grind for the thrill of the wild. Satoshi Tajiri, the creator who caught his first Pokémon in real life as beetles pinned to cards, grew up chasing bugs through Kanto's underbrush. His hometown, a patchwork of fields fracturing under development, birthed Pallet Town's quiet dawn. A professor's lab beside a rival's house, oaks shading the path to Route 1's tall grass. And that first step out, heart pounding as a Pidgey rustles, captures his nostalgia for a vanishing countryside. Shigeru Miyamoto, the design visionary behind it all, layered in his own rural echoes from Sonobe, Kyoto's fringes. Though Zelda's Hyrule whispers louder there, his touch shapes Pallet's idyllic cradle. Miyamoto spoke of exploring streambeds and woods as a kid, unearthing secrets in the dirt, fueling that archetype of the wide-eyed trainer, leaving home for horizons laced with danger and wonder. This urban-rural rift pulses through Kanto's story. Team Rocket's Sylph Comity takeover in Saffron isn't just villainy, it's the corporate machine devouring nature. Scientists cloning Mew in a Pokémon mansion that reeks of unchecked ambition. Much like Japan's post-war tech boom, turning labs into god factories. And Viridian Forest stands as a green lung amid the grey, a respite where Caterpie evolves amid fireflies, echoing 90s cultural ache for Satoyama. Those blended village woods where elders taught kids to forage. Even the Indigo League, straddling Kanto and Johto, symbolises that blurred border. Tokyo's influence, radiating west, monorails linking metropolises like veins of progress. Tajiri and Miyamoto wove their boyhoods into Pallets so deeply that every protagonist since, whether in Hoenn's lava flows or Galar's factories, starts from its shadow. You leave that humble lab, backpack slung and the world opens. Urban gyms testing steel nerves in flickering arenas, rural routes alive with cries of ratata in the dusk. It's no coincidence Kanto returns in gold and silver, via a sleek saffron monorail, Johto's countryside, yielding to Kanto's dominance, or in Let's Go's vibrant remake, where Tokyo's cherry blossoms dust Vermilion's docks. The 90s identity crisis, globalization clashing with Shinto reverence for land spirits, fuels the theme that binds every region back here. Red's silent climb to Mount Silver, facing his own shadow amid border winds, embodies that enduring pull, the rural heart-conquering urban kings. Mewtwo's rage from Cerulean Cave, born in a Cinnabar lab, mirroring Tokyo's biotech hubs, haunts clone tales from Kalos onward. Those colour-named cities, Viridian's emerald haze, Cerulean's azure depths, paint a palette straight from Kanto's seasonal shifts. Spring Sakura in Pallet, autumn Ginkgo gold in Lavender. As we trace these real-world roots deeper, you start seeing how Kanto's battles weren't just pixelated. They forged the competitive arenas where strategies evolved from Route 1 skirmishes. Up next in Chapter 23, The Competitive Foundation, we'll uncover how that Kanto blueprint turned casual catches into a global showdown empire, with meta-shaking picks that still rule tournaments today. Those urban-rural divides in Kanto, echoing the tension between Tokyo's skyscrapers and the Kanto Plains' misty rice paddies, weren't just visual poetry. They forged the raw arena, where Pokémon battles evolved into something fiercely competitive. A system so unforgiving, it rewarded the swift and punished the sluggish like nothing before or since. In the original games, critical hits weren't the random spark of luck they became later. They scaled directly, with a Pokémon speed stat. The faster you were, the more likely your attacks sliced through defenses with double power, ignoring any pesky stat boosts your opponent might have stacked. Picture Tauros thundering across the Indigo Plateau, its base speed of 110 turning every body slam into a potential game ender. Crits landing like lightning strikes before Chansey could even blink. This wasn't balance, it was a high-stakes gamble where speed dictated survival, birthing a metagame unlike any other. Trainers quickly learned that raw power meant little if you couldn't outspeed the threats. Alakazam, with its blistering 120 speed, zipped in for psychic crits that shattered tanks. Gengar ghosted through shadows, its 110 speed ensuring hypnosis or explosion crits sealed fates before retaliation. Even the birds, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, relied on that speed edge to sweep, their blizzard or drill peck crits carving paths through slower foes. But speed alone wasn't enough. You needed bulk to weather the storm, and moves that exploited the glitches, like Hyper Beam, without recharge, if you crit just right. This mechanic twisted every matchup into a razor-thin race, where a single point of speed stat investment could flip a mirror match into dominance. Wrap your mind around the paralysis meta that emerged from this frenzy. Pokémon like Jinx or Exeggutor paralyzed first with Lovely Kiss or Stun Spore, then chipped away while the opponent twitched helplessly, their speed neutered. Crits on paralyzed foes, even deadlier, as status locked them in place. The Gen 1 engine hummed with these quirks, partial trapping via wrap or fire spin draining turns without full commitment. Double team evading hits until the foe's PP ran dry. It created layers of mind games. Do you go all in on speed tiers or stack special defense to tank those inevitable crits? Battles stretched into marathons or exploded in seconds, every switch a calculus of who crits first. And at the pinnacle of this chaotic ballet stood the big three: Tauros, Chansey, and Snorlax. Tauros wasn't just fast, it was a crit machine incarnate, boasting the highest base speed among normal types at 110, with a moveset of Body Slam, Hyper Beam, Blizzard, and Earthquake that critted so often it felt scripted. One trainer described facing it as staring down a meteor shower. Unpredictable, overwhelming, turning standard leads into rubble. Chansey countered with its obscene 345 hit points from soft-boiled loops, tanking crits that would one-shot anything else, Ice Beam or Thunder Wave wearing you down while it healed endlessly. No special attack pierced that 400-plus special wall easily, forcing switches that played right into Tauros, waiting on the sidelines. Snorlax plugged the gaps, a 360 HP behemoth with self-destruct as a panic button, Curse to boost attack while stalling with Body Slam paralysis, and Earthquake to punish grounded foes. These three didn't just win tournaments, they defined them. In the inaugural official championships, like the 1998 Nintendo All-Stars, you'd see Tauros sweeping opens, Chansey stalling finals, Snorlax clutching late game. Even as glitches like Missing No faded from casual play, competitive circuits clung to this trio through the 90s and into the 2000s. Smogon archives from Red, Blue, Yellow overused tiers show over 70% usage rates for them combined. Tauros leading at 42%, Chansey at 28%, Snorlax at 12%. They were the unbreakable spine of the meta, forcing every strategy to orbit their strengths. Fast forward through generations, and that Gen 1 shadow lingers in every balance patch. Game Freak never fully erased those mechanics. They recalibrated around them. When Physical Special Split arrived in Gen 3, it empowered Gen 1 physical attackers like Tauros anew. Its normal stab Body Slam hitting neutral on everything without drawback. Fairy types in Gen 6, designed to neuter dragons. But Chansey's normal typing laughs them off, still looping soft-boiled install cores. Mega evolutions boosted speed tiers, yet Snorlax's raw bulk endures. Its Gen 1 self outspeeds modern threats, only to crit through priority like Fake Out. Consider the power creep treadmill. Every legendary, every paradox form gets tuned against the original 151's benchmarks. Zacian, the Sword and Shield behemoth of Gen 8, boasts 150 base attack, but its speed sits at 148, still vulnerable to max speed Tauros crits in theory, echoing that old race. Terrastal in Gen 9 twists types mid-battle, yet Chansey, Terras to Steel installs eternities. its HP pool mocking modern glass cannons. Even Dynamax, that Galar Colossus mode, caps at 2 turns for most. But Snorlax's curse setups mimic infinite bulk, forcing designers to cap HP boosts lest it revive the big 3 dominance outright. Data from Pokémon Showdown ladders proves it. In random battles, simulating Gen 1 rosters, the big 3 claim top usage even today, over 60% win rates against later gens imports. Game Freak's internal testing pits new Pokémon against Kanto staples. Arceus lore whispers of simulations where Mewtwo, the ultimate clone, still folds to speed crit chains. Priority moves like Extreme Speed, born to counter Gen 1 speed meta, giving slower walls a fighting chance. Mega Rayquaza's Dragon Ascent, balanced to not outpace Articuno's crit agility unchecked. This foundation ensures Kanto's grip. Every gimmick, Z-moves, gigs, treasures, gets stress tested, so no Gen 1 vet feels obsolete. Tauros got a Hisuian form in Legends Arceus, but classic RBY Tauros holds national dex records for crit fishing in VGC. Chansey's Blissey evolutions dominate OU to this day, their special tanks direct evolutions of that soft-boiled immortality. Snorlax, Munchlax aside, it headlines master rank teams, Earthquake crits echoing Viridian gym floors. You feel it in the World Championships too, the 2023 finals in Yokohama, mere miles from the real Kanto heart, saw players importing Snorlax into Gen 9 formats for late-game sweeps. Chansey variants in doubles for redirect shenanigans. It's no accident. Kanto's mechanics are the 0 point, the competitive DNA every expansion splices into. As we trace these battle echoes back to Pallet Town's quiet fields, where Professor Oak first dreamed up the league that standardized it all, you'll soon see how that same unyielding structure loops eternally in the stories trainers tell each other under stadium lights. Next time in Chapter 24, the anime's eternal loop, where Ash's endless Kanto homecomings reveal the script no episode ever escapes. While the big 3 dominated those glitchy Gen 1 battles, where speed decided critical hits in the shadows of Saffron's towers, Kanto's real staying power pulses through something far more relentless. Ash Ketchum's endless journey, forever tethered to the sleepy fields of Pallet Town. That unassuming starting point, just a stone's throw from Professor Oak's lab, has held the anime's narrative in a perfect, unbreakable loop for over 25 years now, churning out more than 1,200 episodes that always circle back home. But do you know the scene as well as your own backyard? 10-year-old Ash bolts out the door at dawn, late for his starter Pokémon, only to bond with a prickly Pikachu who sparks the franchise's most iconic partnership. Pallet Town isn't just a dot on the map. It's the emotional core, the reset button every time the world gets too vast. No matter how many regions Ash conquers, from Johto's misty peaks to Alola's sun-soaked shores, Pallet pulls him back like gravity. Holidays, phone calls from Mum, visits to Oak's overflowing ranch. It's the anchor that makes 25 years of wandering feel like one continuous dream. Think about how the games boxed Kanto into badges and routes, a finite 8 gyms culminating at Indigo Plateau. The anime? It cracks the region wide open, breathing life into corners the pixels could never reach. Viridian Forest becomes a sprawling adventure playground, buzzing with Caterpie evolutions under canopy shadows thick as night, where Ash's first captures teach lessons no Pokédex entry could. Cerulean City isn't merely Misty's gym, it's a cascade of sisterly drama, underwater ballets, and psychic echoes from the cave where Mewtwo lurks unseen, waiting for its post-game legend to unfold in animated whispers. The games hinted at Team Rocket's schemes, stealing Pokémon for profit in Sylph Company's sterile halls. But the anime turns Giovanni's grunts into comic relief with hearts of reluctant gold, blasting off from hot air balloons above Pewter's rugged cliffs or Lavender Town's haunted towers. Jessie, James and Meowth don't just dissolve after Viridian Gym. They persist, orbiting Kanto like persistent glitches, their motto echoing through every region as a nod to those original roots. And Professor Oak? In the games, he's a badge checker with a rival's grandson. On screen, his Pallet lab overflows with anecdotes, tales of ancient Pokeballs forged in Cinnabar's volcanic glow, or the day he glimpsed Mew darting through the jungle, its tail a fleeting rainbow that sparked the whole Pokédex dream. This expansion isn't accidental, it's the anime's secret weapon, layering Kanto with folklore the game's left bare. Seafoam Islands hide not just Articuno's icy throne, but epic dives, where Ash races Zapdos through electric storms, feathers crackling like live wires. The power plant, that forgotten Gen 1 ruin overrun by electric types, hosts psychic showdowns with lingering ghosts of experimental failures, even Mount. Moon's fossils come alive in episodes where Clefairy dances under starlit craters, revealing lunar origins tied to Kanto's primordial ooze. These aren't filler, they deepen the lore, making Kanto feel alive, eternal, a world that breathes beyond the cartridge's limits. At the heart of this loop sits what fans call the Pikachu Project, the genius stroke that made Kanto's mascot the franchise's unbreakable asset. Pokémon Yellow wasn't just a game tweak, it was born from the anime's overnight sensation. Ash's Pikachu, that yellow thunderbolt refusing a Pokeball, skipped the traditional starter trio to spotlight the face of the brand. Why? Because Pikachu embodies Kanto's electric soul, born from Pikachu swarms in Viridian Forest, powering the franchise like the hidden generators in the abandoned plant. Over 25 years, this little guy has sold billions, plushies stacking higher than Indigo Plateau, his cheeks sparking in every ad from Tokyo billboards to global arenas. Pikachu's Kanto roots keep the loop spinning commercially too. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee in 2018 didn't remake Red and Blue by chance. They channeled Ash directly, syncing catches to anime cries, Mewtwo's Cerulean showdown mirroring those early episodes where the clone's rage shakes the earth. Even Scarlet and Violet's epilogue funnels you back through Pallet vibes, terrestrial crystals echoing Kanto's elemental stones unearthed in rocky crags. The mascot isn't just cute, it's the tether, ensuring every new generation tastes that original spark, turning nostalgia into 9-figure sales. Ash's Pallet obsession mirrors our own. Every reset to title screens, every new game plus, loops us to that white picket fence under blue skies. The anime proves Kanto's lore isn't static. It's a living archive, expanded with heart-tugging depth. Mime Jr. pranks in Oak's yard, Bulbasaur's stubborn refusal to evolve symbolizing unbreakable bonds forged on Route 1's wildflower paths. 25 years, and still no finale. Ash ages in spirit only, eternally 10, chasing mastery that slips like a thunderbolt in rain. This eternal loop whispers a bigger truth, one that ties games, anime, and every shadowed cave from Pallet to Paldea into a single, mind-bending framework. What if it's all one grand design? We'll unravel that in the theory of everything. Ash Ketchum's unbreakable tether to Pallet Town doesn't just loop the anime back to its roots, it hints at a cosmic blueprint etched into the Pokémon multiverse itself, and where every adventure, no matter how far-flung, circles back to Kanto's unyielding core. Consider this, from the moment you boot up Red or Blue, back in 1996, Kanto isn't presented as one region among many, it's the genesis. Professor Oak hands you that Pokédex in Pallet Town, and suddenly you're cataloguing the original 151 creatures that define what a Pokémon even is. Mewtwo rampages from its cloned birthplace in the Cinnabar Mansion, Articuno chills the Seafoam Islands, and Team Rocket's silos echo with stolen Pokémon cries. This isn't backstory, it's the foundational code. Fast forward through Johto's golden fields in gold and silver. And what happens? You ride the monorail from Goldenrod straight into Saffron City, collecting those same Kanto badges, dismantling rocket remnants, and scaling Mount Silver to face Red himself, the silent champion from Pallet, perched like a god on the peak. That encounter on Mount Silver, it's no random cameo, it's the first crack in the facade, revealing Kanto's grip tightening around Johto. Fans have long whispered about the Kanto War, a shadow conflict where Kanto's Indigo League didn't just share its plateau with Johto, it annexed it. Think about the geography. Indigo Plateau sits smack on the border, a towering fortress funded by Kanto's elite. Goldenrod City, Johto's gleaming hub, gets its power from Kanto-backed rails and steamboats snaking across the sea. Even Tyranitar lurks at the edge, a dark-type sentinel hinting at invasion scars. Post-Johto badges, you don't celebrate in Ekrutique's ancient drums. You pivot to Viridian Gym, where Giovanni lurks. Hear his rocket empire clawing back from the shadows. Kanto doesn't visit Johto, it reclaims it. Now weave in the multiverse timeline, that sprawling web of dimensions Pokémon lore teases across generations. Ultra Space, rifts in Alola, the distortion world bleeding into Sinnoh, even Paldea's Paradox. Pokémon ripping through time, these aren't isolated anomalies. They're echoes of Kanto's primal experiments. Porygon, birthed in Kanto Labs, foreshadows digital incursions everywhere. Mew, darted in its jungle by Mr. Fuji, seeds every clone saga, from Kalos' Azar to Galar's Eternatus. The Pokédex system, Oak's invention, studied by Rowan in Sinnoh, replicated by every professor since. Regions don't exist in silos, they orbit Kanto like planets around a star. Heart Gold and Soul Silver literalize it. Johto thrives as Kanto's satellite. Its economy propped by Sylph Company tech from Saffron, its league a Kanto puppet. But why does this pattern repeat? Why does every shiny new region, Hoenn's oceans, Unova's skyscrapers, Galar's stadiums, inevitably revert to Kanto tropes? Take Paldea in Scarlet and Violet. You chase badges across vast open lands, battle a shadowy team with profit-driven schemes eerily like rockets, and cap it with an epilogue yanking you back to Indigo Plateau vibes. Terrastal crystals, straight homage to Kanto's elemental stones, unearthed in rocky caves. Pecharunt's mythos loops to ancient Kanto rituals. It's not lazy design, it's gravitational pull. Fans crave that nostalgia hit. The Brock Boulder puzzle, Misty's Cascade Arena, the Elite Four's Gauntlet, because Kanto wired our brains in 1998's Red and Blue ports. New regions stray too far. Our engagement dips as sales data whispers it. Let's go. Pikachu and Eevee in 2018 outsold fresh Switch titles by leaning hard into Viridian Greens and Cerulean Blues. Kanto tropes aren't filler, they're the fan service engine, keeping the Pokédex humming. Peel back the layers and the secret unfurls. Kanto isn't a region. It's the franchise's beating heart, the engine powering every spin-off, remake and sequel. Look at the timeline. 14 games across 5 generations revisit its soil. Fire Red and Leaf Green polish the originals. Let's Go nods to Anime Ash. Even Scarlet and Violet's epilogue parks you in Kanto's shadow. Geography mirrors it. Color-coded cities, Viridian's emerald forests bleeding into Pewter's slate quarries, Lavender's violet towers haunting with ghost whispers, Echo Japan's Kanto plain, rice paddies clashing with Tokyo's neon sprawl, Saffron's corporate towers, Sylph Company blueprint for macrocosmos in Galar, Seafoam's icy depths guard Articuno, prototype for every legendary bird saga. This reversion isn't coincidence, it's narrative physics, in a multiverse where Kanto holds the reins. Johto's war sets the template. Kanto conquers via shared league, infusing dark-type dominance, turning neighbours into vassals. Unova's Team Plasma Apes, Rocket's theft rhetoric, Alola's Ether Foundation, clones like Fuji's lab, every evil team, every badge quest, every professor's lab circles Pallet Town's oak-panelled walls. Red on Mount Silver, the unbeatable benchmark his team, a fossil of Gen 1 powerhouses like Tauros rampaging plains, Chansey tanking hits in competitive metas born from Kanto's speed-scaling crits. To feel the weight of it, you're not just playing games, you're retracing Red's footsteps across dimensions. Hoenn's gym structure apes Brock's rock-solid start. Kalos' mega evolution nods to Mewtwo's rage-fueled power. Galar's Dynamax, echoes of Cerulean Cave's hidden behemoth. The multiverse bends because Kanto coded the rules. Mew's DNA, Helix, twisting through every Arceus creation myth, Oak's Pokédex syncing timelines. Without it, regions fracture, fans disengage. That's the genius. Game Freak dangles fresh Pokédex entries, but reels you back with Lavender Tower chills or Power Plant sparks, sustaining a 28-year empire. Yet this engine hums louder still, its revolutions dictating the eternal cycle ahead. In Chapter 26, The Eternal Return, we'll uncover how Kanto's loop doesn't just bind regions, it resurrects itself in ways that defy the grave of forgotten lore, pulling even the newest legends into its unbreakable orbits. Every Pokémon game pulls us back to Kanto, not by accident, but by design, like a river carving deeper into the same ancient valley, no matter how many tributaries it spawns. That reversion we traced in the multiverse timeline, where Alola's trials echo Brock's boulder badge, or Paldea's treasures mimic the elemental stones unearthed in those Kanto caves, isn't just a fan service crutch. It's the heartbeat of the series, pulsing through remakes that keep resurfacing like ghosts from Pallet Town. Think about it. Red and Blue launched in 1996 in Japan, 98 worldwide, and they've been reborn 4 times already. Fire Red and Leaf Green in 2004, then Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee in 2018. Each one polishing the same roots, the same foggy Viridian forest, where your first Caterpie rustles leaves underfoot. But here's the pull we can't escape. Those remakes aren't endings. They're preludes to the next loop. Heart Gold and Soul Silver in 2009 didn't just tack Kanto onto Johto's end. They made it the payoff, with Red waiting silent and unbeatable on Mount Silver's snow-whipped peak, his Pikachu's thunder cracking the sky as the ultimate test. You sail from Olivine on that familiar steamboat, or zip through Saffron's monorail, and suddenly you're recollecting those 8 badges from Brock's unyielding rock types to Giovanni's shadowy Viridian gym. Team Rocket's grunts scattering like rats from the radio tower all over again. And Scarlet and Violet's epilogue, that wasn't a footnote. After unravelling Paldea's paradoxes, you're whisked back to Indigo Plateau, badges in hand, facing the same Elite Four lineup that's haunted trainers since the 90s. Lorelei's icy Glaceon sliding across frosted arenas, Bruno's Machamp flexing in dim dojos. It's as if Game Freak whispers, "You thought you were done with Kanto, step through the revolving doors." This cycle spins on because Kanto isn't just the first region, it's the blueprint etched into the Pokédex's silicon soul. Professor Oak's device, born in that Pallet Town lab, amid the scent of fresh grass and starter Pokémon cries, inspired every professor since. Elm in Johto, scribbling notes on it, Rowan visiting Oak himself to decode its secrets. Those original 151 aren't relics, they're the DNA. Mewtwo's rampage from the Cinnabar Mansion's charred ruins echoes in every clone saga. Kalos' AZ, Galar's Eternatus, all circling back to that cloned fury hiding in Cerulean Cave's dripping shadows. We keep returning because leaving Kanto behind would be like forgetting your childhood home's creaky front door. It's comfort food in a medium, starved for it, the urban pulse of Saffron's towering Sylph Company, where elevators hum and scientists clutch stolen Pokémon. The misty Lavender Tower, ghosts moaning through tombstones as Cubone weeps for its lost mother. Seafoam Island's cascading waterfalls, thundering over Articuno's frozen perch. You taste the rice paddies of real-world Kanto in Viridian's green expanses, or feel Tokyo's neon buzz in Vermilion's dockside clamour. It's familiar, warm, the kind of nostalgia that sells millions. Let's Go proved it, blending Pikachu's anime charm with Switch controls, pulling in lapsed fans like moths to a power plant glow. Yet this eternal return runs deeper than sales charts. Kanto's legendaries guard thresholds that bleed into everywhere else, Zapdos sparking at the abandoned plant's rusted girders, Moltres fanning embers in Victory Road's sweltering depths. Red himself, that wordless champion atop Mount Silver, isn't just a boss. He's the benchmark, the silent judge every protagonist measures against. Ash's endless loop in the anime starts right there in Pallet, 25 years of badges and blasts, always drifting back. Fan theories nail it tight. Johto as Kanto's annexed sibling. Indigo Plateau, the conquered crown, where Tyranitar prowls the borders like a warning. Every evil team apes Rocket's fossil smuggling greed. Galactic, Plasma, all profit-driven shadows. Gym structures, 8 leaders, type-themed trials, straight from Pewter's fossil digs to Celadon's perfume-laced garden. So why can't we leave? Because Kanto isn't behind us. It's under us, the fertile plain every region sprouts from. The next remake looms inevitable, maybe Legend Zia reshaping it urban futuristic, Lumiose lights flickering over Pallet's hills, or Scarlet and Violet's DLC sequel dragging us through a multiverse rift back to Oak's doorstep. The series thrives on this loop, reverting to Kanto tropes not out of laziness, but love, the comfort of knowing, no matter how vast Unova's skylines or Galar's stadiums grow, those colour-named cities wait, her badges gleaming, ready to call you home, and in that pull, the franchise's future secures itself. Eternal, unbreakable, forever secretly Kanto. What did you think of this journey? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If this changed your perspective or taught you something new, consider subscribing for more mind-expanding content. And if you know someone who would find this as fascinating as you did, share it with them. These are the kind of conversations that matter.